6:08. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News.
Good morning, Rose Dalton.
So did you know that 10 plus 10 and 11 plus 11 are the same thing?
No, I didn't.
Because 10 plus 10 is 20 and 11 plus 11 is 22.
Mm-hmm. Woo-woo.
What?
Spelling joke.
What? It's
Homonyms.
math.
Yeah. That's the pride of Incarnate Word over there.
Except she spelled it T-O.
Right.
See what you did there? I thought you were going one way, you went the other way. All right, I am heartbroken. Absolutely heartbroken.
You had money on the Cowboys game?
Over the weekend, we went to Emerson has some cousins who live in town. And so they asked if Emerson could sleep over. So we dropped her off on Saturday. And driving back, we decided to stop for dinner somewhere. So we stopped off at a restaurant. Very, very upscale restaurant. Very nice restaurant.
Reservations suggested?
Reservations suggested. In fact, I don't want to tell you, I don't want to say who it is. I don't want to embarrass anybody. But as we were leaving, I guess it was like homecoming dance.
Lots of them this weekend.
Yeah. And these 4 underage teenagers show up in outfits, and they had gone to the wrong one.
Oh.
So they didn't have a reservation at this one because the other one was downtown. So they were all befuddled. So anyway, so we decide, we're like, let's go. So we walk in, and they're going to seat us at a table, and they say, we'll just sit at the bar. So we sit at the bar, and we were watching some of the Ryder Cup and talking to the bartender. Well, the bartender's name was Chaz on his name tag. Chaz, C-H-A-Z. Or C-H-A-S, I guess. So I said, hey, we're coming down to rock the Chaz bar. And the guy looks at me, he's like, sure. And I was like, you don't get it, do you? He goes, no. I'm like, we're here to rock the Chaz bar. And he still was like, I don't get it. And like, I turned to the person next to me. It wasn't very crowded. I turned to the person next to me. Well, one of the other waiters was like, I get it. That's a good one. We had to explain to this bartender what the phrase, we're going to rock the Chaz bar means. Is that, yeah.
The Clash.
What is wrong with people today?
I don't know if I've ever been more proud of you than I am right now.
1983.
That is well done. Now, obviously, was the bartender like 12?
No, he clearly was over 21.
Okay,
but you
so
know what
that
I mean?
means
Like,
he
was he
born
under the age of 40?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't ask to see his ID. He didn't ask to see mine either.
In terms of like,
and this song is 15 years older than that.
He was old enough. He should have known. I was very offended.
Well, and if your name is Chaz and you're a bartender, you should,
right? Somebody should have said to you, "You're going to rock the Chaz bar."
Yeah.
The guy could have made it nicer. And
well done on your part.
I tried to explain to him, like, well, back in the 80s and 90s, when you went to a bar and the bartender's name was Charles, you would go, I'm going to rock the Chaz bar.
So maybe this guy will now check out the Clash.
Right.
Maybe he will understand that he is an important part of the cog of an American bar and needs to like step up a little bit.
Or he's like some old guy tried to tell me a joke the other day.
Listen to this old timer. Listen to All right, Jim Ryan is going to be joining us, and there's a new scam. This one, they don't even need to touch you, send you anything. You don't need to return anything to them. They just need to stand next to you, and they can break into your phone. I
tried to explain this to Rose. Jim will do a much better job than I did.
They call it ghost tapping. We'll do that. We're checking in with Jim Ryan here at 6:20. Stephen Portnoy is going to be joining us. We got a shutdown, which just might be a good thing. Just shut it down. Just shut the whole thing down. Government shutdown. At an impasse, October 1st. We'll get into that with Stephen Portnoy. Josh Margolin's going to be joining us. That horrible story about that Michigan church shooting. with the fire and the inferno. They're still saying 7 people are missing. Josh has got that 7:35. Stephen Roberts going to be joining us. Donald Trump has a busy week. His revenge tour continues. Randy Carricker is going to check in and talk about the Chaim Bloom era of Cardinal baseball begins tomorrow.
Oh, how'd your bet wind up?
So I lost both. However, I think the underlying moral of the bet won. Right?
The idea.
Well, the idea was that we made this bet when
they got Soto.
When they got Soto. The Mets finished with 83 wins. The Cardinals finished with 78 wins. So the Cardinals, 5 games worse this year. I think they had 83 wins last year. And they have 78, so that's 5 games. So the Cardinals were 5 games worse this year. And the Mets were 5 games better than the Cardinals. But neither one of them made the playoffs.
And Mets lost yesterday.
So what good is Juan Soto if you don't make the playoffs? Which was the point I was making. You're going to spend $700 million on a player, and are you going to make the playoffs? So you spend $700 million on a player, and you don't make the playoffs. So all these people talk about free agencies and signings and everything. It's just because you signed the best player in the offseason doesn't mean you're going to the playoffs.
Dodgers are doing okay.
We'll go to that with Randy Carricker and then Ben Barnett from Timberline Tree Care. We'll get into talking some wood. Who doesn't love to talk some wood? Captain Paul Kopsky in the St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Good morning, Captain Paul.
Good morning, McGraw. There's an accident on northbound 55 at Route A in Festus with traffic backed up to US 61. We have some signal issues around the area. The signals are on flash at 141 and Ladue Road, at 55 and Bayless, at 70 and Jennings Station, and the signals also on flash at Grand and Gravois. And one northbound lane and one southbound lane of Tesson Ferry are closed between 270 and Butler Hill until 2 o'clock this afternoon for road work. This traffic report is brought to you by Dents Express. Drive time can be hectic with traffic, weather, and fender benders. Dents Express can help with hassle-free dent removal, minor collision repair, and hail damage repair. Free evaluations, and they take care of the insurance paperwork. They've got 2 locations on Manchester and Baldwin and in St. Charles. DentsExpressSTL.com. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. Woods Basement.
Check the calendar. We are just 2 days away from October, but boy, fall temperatures nowhere in sight. We are stuck in a warm and, yep, you guessed it, dry weather pattern. Sunny skies today, hot this afternoon if you're out in that full sunshine, up to 89 for the high. Thankfully, humidity is low. We'll slip back into the 70s by about 8 o'clock tonight, heading for a low around 63. Mostly sunny and hot again Tuesday afternoon, the high bouncing right back up to about 89. As of now, I have no rain in the 10-day forecast. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers on the Big 550, KTRS.
Well, then I guess we can't blame it on a rainy day if you don't have any rain. Hey-o, Galmish & Sons, heating and cooling. What do you need to know? It's still hot out there, and it's going to be October 1st, and we're still going to have the air conditioner on. Holy mackerel. Galmish & Sons is your heating and cooling company. Since 1950, they've been dealing with St. Louis weather, St. Louis families, and that annoying neighbor down the street. But they do it with a smile on their face. They work exclusively with Lennox air conditioners and furnaces. You ever go visit their showroom, they got stacked pile high, ready to go. That's what they install. But they'll fix any make, any model. I don't know if there are any coal chutes around anymore, but if there are, I'm sure Galmish & Sons will help you out with that. Gas, electric, you name it, Galmish & Sons can help with all of it. And they've never sold out to the man. The hedge funds, the private equity firms come in, and I'm sure they've knocked on their door a couple of times, but no thanks. Galmish & Sons, still run by the family that started it in 1950. So the next time the air conditioner goes out, the next time the furnace has some trouble, Gelmish, that's the name to remember. 314-993-1110 or gelmishandsons.com.
Whoa, boss, how did that happen?
Mind your business.
I mean, how did a forklift make a shish kebab out of our company truck?
I said mind your business, Billy. It's why we have auto owners. We work with an independent agent to customize our policies. So when the unexpected happens, we know we're covered because unlike you, minding our business is their business.
Oh, that's simple human sense.
Ask First Mid Insurance in St. Peters if auto owners make sense for you.
Hey, it's Julie Buck for our friends at Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution, and they've been in St. Louis for over 20 years with 2 locations, one at Clayton and Lindbergh, and the other one just west of 270 on Olive. If you've got your own business and you want to have a better banking experience, look no further than Triad Bank. Their mission is to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services to you and your business. For more, go to triadbanking.com.
Watch your favorite team, eat your favorite food. It's the Village Bar. You've heard about the world-famous cheeseburger. Stop by and check it out. Even better, bring your friends on your way to the game, after the game, or just watching the game. Food, sports, and a cold beer. We'll see you at the Village Bar.
This is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
$6:20 here, Big 550 KTRS. Jim Ryan is going to get us going off this week with something we should be worrying about that we're currently not worrying about. Good morning, Jim Ryan.
Take the advice of Sting and the police. Don't stand so close to me. Because if you do and you're using a device, a card-reading device, you could be scamming me and taking data right off my debit card. Thanks, McGraw.
What are you talking about, Jim Ryan?
Okay, we're talking about ghost tapping. This is a scam that's arisen with the proliferation of cashless payment systems, right? Your debit card, your credit card, your phone even. They use something called radio frequency identification, which allows your card to communicate with that payment device at the ice cream counter, and then they whip it around and they say, hey, McGraw, do you want to add a tip to that? But it's that technology then that people, if they get a hold of a card reader, and they're fairly easy to find, and this person is standing right next to you at a street fair or a concert or a football game, they could be taking data off your phone and off your card. So it's something to watch out for. Ghost tapping. The BBB is warning against it.
Okay, so I'm sure all major outlets are against it. So explain to me, so somebody's just standing next to you with a card reader, and it reads your phone.
It can, yeah. That's the big danger of this. In the same way that, the folks at the ice cream counter have that reader and you can tap it and be on your way. Somebody with this same kind of device on their person can be doing the same thing and taking, untold amounts out of your account. There are other things to watch out for, though. Let's say at that same street festival, there's a booth set up and they're, taking donations for some charity, and you want to be a nice giving person, and so you say, sure, you tap it's a $10 donation. So you tap your card and you happily walk away. Well, make sure you check the amount on the reader. Make sure it is a $10 donation instead of a $100,000 or $1,000 donation, some crazy amount because you didn't check to see what it was. That's one way to protect yourself. Keeping close tabs on your account, keeping close tabs on the people who are asking you to make payments. Make sure that the amount matches what they're saying that they're going to take.
How big of a problem is this?
Hard to say, exactly, but the BBB has, anecdotal accounts from people who've reported to them, a guy whose mother was taken for $537 because, she was asked to tap her card to give to a charity. Another person taken for $1,100, and these people were actually going door to door. So someone in your neighborhood and knocking on the door and saying, hey, I'm taking donations, and you say, great, I'd like to give to that. And they say, okay, well, I'm only taking cashless, debit or credit card. So I'll hold my card reader here, my brick, I think they call it a block. You tap it, and great, you feel good about yourself. But just make sure that amount. By the way, make sure the person standing at the door is wearing some kind of identification. I think every city, town, community has a requirement that people soliciting door to door have to have some kind of ID.
How close do you have to be? Do I have to be right next to you? Does the reader have to touch your phone? How close do you have to be?
Doesn't have to necessarily touch it, but it does have to be quite close. And with cards, generally, it does have to kind of tap or touch, right? That's why they call it ghost tapping, because your card has to tap it, but not so much with phones. I've seen that coffee shops, you can hold your phone up to it. You open the payment app and you hold it fairly close, but not necessarily touching the payment device. And, yeah, you're charged your $18.50 for your cup of coffee.
Well, if there's anything else to worry about. Thanks, Jim Ryan, getting us off on a right foot here on a Monday morning. Thanks, Jim.
More police.
Yeah.
More police.
There you go. Thanks, Jim. Thanks for checking in. Here's a feel-good story. 58-year-old Tom Sillo is trying to become the oldest player in a college football game. 58 years old.
He's a red shirt.
He is a freshman at Division III Lycoming. He has recently gone on the radar for the NIL deals, name, image, and likeness. And the 58-year-old defensive lineman just signed an NIL deal with Aspercream.
Of course he did.
He has received a 4-year supply of over-the-counter pain relief products as part of the partnership.
Wait, he's not getting paid? He's just getting paid in cream?
He might be getting some money on the side, too, but he's also got a 4-year supply of Aspercream. He says, I'm living proof that you're never too old to chase your dream. At 58, I'm still lacing up, competing, and showing that passion doesn't age. I may have more aches and pains than I used to, but then I just roll on some Aspercream and show the younger guys that grit beats pain every time.
It's like Rudy.
Listen to this. He's 58 years old. He's had an interesting life. He's been a power lifter for more than 2 decades and broke the International Powerlifting Association world record for his age group in the deadlift in 2024 by lifting 580 pounds.
Whoa.
He retired from his full-time job and is now pursuing his dream of playing college football. He's trying to obtain a criminal justice degree. He went viral on social media in August ahead of the team's media day. If he plays a snap this season, he'll become the oldest player to appear in an NCAA game since Tom Thompson debuted for Division III Austin. Let's see here. 61. There was Alan Moore, was a 61-year-old in 2011 when he kicked for an NAIA school. He was a kicker for an NAIA school. This other one, Tom, was a kicker, the 61-year-old kicker. So this guy's a defensive lineman, 58 years old.
So how does your clock starts over? So like
Your clock
NAIA,
starts.
NCAA
NAIA
have
is totally
nothing to do
different.
with each other.
NAIA
And then
is totally
Division
different.
III? What's Division III?
Division III is just it's an NCAA approved.
So it is.
But it's just a smaller school, if you will.
So you can play 4 years, or you can play your entire clock at NAIA and then still have 5 years.
I don't know how
at
NAIA.
NCAA.
I don't know how NAIA works, but NCAA once the first day of class, your clock starts.
Right, and you get 5 years, right?
Correct. So if he doesn't go to school until he's 58, his clock starts when he's 58 years old.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, right on.
Yeah, right on.
All right, Rudy, get it.
Hey, if you had a chance, well, I don't know. Well, let me just read this story. Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei.
We know him.
Was telling Axios over the weekend, which is a news gathering website. It's very, very influential and very, very legitimate, Axios. He was co-founder of this company called Anthropic. He said that there is a 25% chance that the future of AI will go really, really badly. He gave the percentage after being asked his doom number, which is the probability that things will go south with AI, specifically that it destroys humanity. He says he's getting real about the potential concerns with AI is key to positive outcomes. He says, I hate that term. He says there's a 75% chance that things go really, really well. He's on the record with this doom number of 25% in the past. Elon Musk put the doom number at 20%. In July, After releasing Grok 4, Musk said, "It's like, I think it'll be good, most likely it'll be good, but somewhat reconciled myself to the fact that even if it weren't going to be good, I'd at least like to be alive to see it happen." So
to watch the machines take over.
So,
well, I like how you just brushed over the part about destroying humanity. Like that's a
25.
like,
would
yeah,
you would you go work for a company that there was a 25% chance the company would destroy humanity?
Right. The fact that it's even an offered as a solution.
I mean, 75% chance it could be good. 25% would be bad, but 75% chance to be good. Get off my back. I would probably just go flip burgers somewhere,
right?
And just be like, okay, well, whatever. Good luck. I'm gonna go drive a bus. You tell me how things turn out. I don't want my name in the history books for destroying humanity. It's just me. I'm a weirdo. I'm a weirdo that way. What?
I mean, what is happening?
I don't know. 629 here, Big 550 KTRS. I got a lot of nuggets today.
What's the doom number?
25%.
What's our doom? What's our
doom number is 98%. Captain Paul Kopsky is in the St. Louis Closet Company Shopping Center. Good morning, Captain Paul.
Good morning, McGraw. Right now, no accidents or slowdowns, but we do have some signal issues around the area. The signals are on flash at 141 in Ladue Road, at 55 in Bayless, at eastbound 70 in Jennings Station, and the signal's also on flash at Gravois and Grand. And one lane of 64 is closed eastbound between 22nd Street and 6th Street until 2 o'clock this afternoon for road work. This traffic report is brought to you by the Rack House in Cottleville. Stop by for brunch or happy hour or plan your next event, specifically group outings or holiday parties at the Rack House. The Rack House featuring a seasonal menu and upscale casual dining and drinks since 2014. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Weather for the next couple of days. There is no rain anywhere in the forecast. Plenty of sunshine. Temperatures still unseasonably warm. Let's see here. 88 the high today. Sunny, very warm. Overnight tonight, low of 60. Tomorrow, high of 89 and sunny. Wednesday and Thursday, we're in the upper 80s. Matter of fact, we're in the upper 80s all week and not a drop of rain anywhere in the forecast. 64 officially right now. 6:31. Let's go to the newsroom. Here's Rose Dalton.
The 22-year-old man charged with killing Christian conservative activist Charlie Kirk will have a court hearing today. 22-year-old Tyler Robinson and his newly appointed legal counsel will decide whether they want a preliminary hearing where the judge will determine if there is enough evidence against him to go forward with the trial. Prosecutors have charged Robinson with aggravated murder and plan to seek the death penalty. Iran says it hanged a man accused of spying for Israel, the latest in the largest wave of executions by Tehran in decades. Iran identified the executed man as Bamin Chubiaso. In local headlines, the City of St. Louis's Office of Recovery and Community Development Administration announced a new notice of funding availability for the tornado recovery vacant unit turns, designed to quickly repair vacant rental units and make them available to families displaced by the May 16th tornado. The tornado recovery vacant unit turns grant funding will provide up to $2.5 million in RAMS settlement funds to cover minor repairs, maintenance, and updates to vacant rental housing. The Bi-State Development Board of Commissioners voted to revise the program management consultant contract to evaluate alternative conveyance options for the Green Line project with a focus on bus rapid transit. This potential shift to the Green Line project was made at the request of St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer to enhance the project's financial feasibility and strengthen its competitiveness for federal funding in Washington, D.C. 61 degrees. Time now is 6:32. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News.
Andy from Hats and Stuff. The great deals continue on Cardinals, Blues, City SC, Mizzou, and so much more. Something for the entire family.
And the summer concert schedule is heating up, and we have a huge selection of cowboy hats for just $19.99.
Located at Westport Plaza, across from the Drunken Fish and the Kobe Steakhouse, or 24/7 at hatsandstuff.com and the Soulard Farmers Market on Saturdays. Hats and Stuff. Good stuff at really great prices.
Hats and Stuff. Hats and Stuff. Hats and Stuff. Scott, remember when the Queen of Carpet and the Princess of Pile were flying around the arch selling flooring?
Andrea, that was the Queen of Carpet and the Princess of Tile.
Oh, that's right. But we don't need shtick here at Best Buy Flooring.
That's right, because our in-stock selection of carpet, carpet tile, sheet vinyl, laminate, hardwood, luxury vinyl plank, and luxury vinyl tile are already at low, low prices.
Come see us at our 3 area locations, North County, South County, and Metro East. Open 7 days a week.
Plus, free financing on approved credit. Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy Flooring.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor and Pella window specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation, 314-569-1050. And have a banner day.
Hey, it's Julie Buck for our friends at Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution, and they've been in St. Louis for over 20 years with 2 locations, one at Clayton and Lindbergh, and the other one just west of 270 on Olive. If you've got your own business and you want to have a better banking experience, look no further than Triad Bank. Their mission is to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services to you and your business. For more, go to triadbanking.com.
It's the half-price sale at Miller Furniture and Mattress going on now through October 14th.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. Right now, save half off our list price on all in-stock items. Plus, half off custom orders from Flex Steel, Smith Brothers, Amish-made furniture, and more.
And get 12 months financing, no interest, no minimum purchase. See our fully stocked Flex Steel galleries in the area's largest selection of Amish-made furniture. Plus, up to 75% off the list price on our outdoor furniture.
Sleep better and save big. Right now, get a free adjustable base with the purchase of any Chatham & Wells mattress. Plus, half price on select floor model mattresses from Stearns & Foster, Tempur-Pedic, and Spring Air.
Visit any of our 4 locations in Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, or Ellisville and save on over $8 million of inventory. You'll see why we were voted the Retailer of the Year by the Home Furnishings Association.
Don't miss the half-price sale at Miller Furniture now through October 14th. At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
You've seen the movies Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick. Have you always wondered what it would be like to be a Top Gun instructor or pilot? Now is your chance at the National Museum of Transportation. On October 15th at 7 p.m., Captain Kevin Proton McLaughlin, United States Navy retired former commander of Top Gun and technical advisor to the movie Top Gun Maverick, will be the featured speaker. Tickets are $30. Reserve your spot now online at tnmot.org at the National Museum of Transportation.
McGraw Millhaven on KTRS.
I love this song.
22 years ago today, it came out.
Oh, this is fantastic. If this song doesn't put a smile on your face, you're having a bad day, and you need this song to perk yourself up.
Poor Stacy.
It's such a great tune. Are these guys one-hit wonders? They gotta be.
Well, the lead singer passed away.
Oh, okay. Who sings this song?
Fountains of Wayne.
6:37 here, Big 550, KTRS. So I was reading over the weekend, and speaking of technology, did you know that farmers can use drones? Farmers know this. But I was reading the story in the New York Times about how large drones can zoom over a cornfield. Okay? and they can read the world, and they can tell you if this cornfield is lacking in fertilizer on this part of the field, but not that part of the field. So in that case, you don't need fertilizer on all of it. You just need fertilizer on this little part over here. So let me save all this, and let me just, through these drone shots and this drone technology, take a shot from overhead. And oh, by the way, look at that. The back 40 over there, boy, they need some fertilizer. But you know, the front part over here, that's killing it. Let's hold off on the fertilizer over there. Let's just put it on the back. So oftentimes they're finding out that the whole field doesn't need chemicals, just a little part of the back needs chemicals. And they're finding that out all through drone technology. I don't know. Isn't that amazing?
Well, so it's how does it know?
They call it
green.
Yeah, they call it precision agriculture, farming that harnesses technologies like drones, satellite imagery, and artificial intelligence to improve yield, save money, and reduce environmental harm is already transforming the way the world grows food. Yeah.
I believe Carl covered a little bit of that in the farm show earlier this morning.
Did you touch on that?
Did you hear that on your way in?
I did not hear that on the way in. No, it was a story in the New York Times this weekend. Yeah.
Maybe we're on the same wavelength.
Yeah. The spring or the fall is a time to sort of reseed your grass.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm a farmer. Not that I don't. Not just. The fall is when you sort of bring your yard back.
People think it's spring. It's fall.
It's fall. And, so I put some grass down, and, I mulched, or I dethatched, I aerated, I picked it all up, and then I put some new seed down, and it's starting to grow a little bit now. Then the Amazon guy walked all over my yard. I was like, hey, get off my yard, man. I literally said to the guy, get off my yard. What are you doing? He's like, oh, I just need to take a picture of this box. I was like, not on the yard, not on the grass. Come on. What are you doing?
And you shook your fist at the sky, yelled at clouds.
Across Michigan, 10 large farms in a pilot program have placed 450 acres dotted throughout hundreds of fields into biodiversity conservation. The farmers receive $200 per acre through a federal grant. They're using this nitrogen prescriptions across 23,000 acres. Collectively, those measures resulted in carbon dioxide equivalent reduction of about 4,000 tons per year. That's similar to the yearly energy use of about 500 homes, according to the EPA. Right? So they used less fertilizer, thus reducing all of the environmental benefits. And they got a better yield, and they saved themselves money because they weren't putting down the chemical, right? You don't have to put them all down. You have to put down
targeted
$100 worth. You have to put down $5 worth. Yeah. Yeah, it's really very interesting.
Driving through Illinois yesterday, they have started harvesting the corn already.
Yeah, so it's coming down. I'm still seeing it driving around. I'm still seeing some green on those corn stalks. I know that's not the official way to find out if the corn is ready to be harvested, but we are coming up on some harvest. There's a couple of other interesting stories here that I put away. There's a big one that I've got. Oh my God! Here you go. How often did you guys make fun of me for putting on closed captioned? Was it you or was it Kelly Jackson who's making fun of me?
I haven't watched TV without captions in probably 25 years.
I love closed captions.
They're required.
I love watching television with closed captioned.
Exactly.
And a 75-inch TV, it's like Times Square in my front room because I've got all the big letters.
Do you find yourself reading more or watching?
I don't know.
People think that you do both. You've always done both.
It's weird.
And so people are like, I don't like to read. You stop.
It's weird. It's weird how it works so well. You watch and you read. It's amazing.
And you watch something you've seen before, you catch stuff, you're like, oh, I didn't know he said that.
No, it's correct. And even that, it's even like a second or two off, but you're able to follow. It's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the reason why I bring this up is because according to a new survey, there are young people who are turning on closed caption in record numbers. 18 to 44-year-olds. 40% of 18 to 44-year-olds always have closed captioned on. 27% say sometimes. 33% say rarely or never. 45 and older. Only 28% of the 45 and older crowd say they have closed captions on all the time.
Really, they don't want to admit it though. There's a difference.
Right. So more people under the age of 44 admit to having closed captioned on all the time, as opposed to only 28% of those 45 and older. So the young people are watching closed captioned.
And they watch anime and they watch things in foreign languages as well.
Yeah, and here's my question when it comes to is closed captioning provided per show, or does who is the one that's at? Because remember, not all shows used to come with closed captioning. You'd be like, oh man. Or not all channels would provide.
At the end of Seinfeld?
Closed
captioning provided by, it was sponsored.
Right.
Yeah. I guess it's all digital now. I guess it's all.
Right. And so now I think everything's, I think you
like Siri, it's sponsored by Siri does it.
Right.
Or whatever.
Everything's transcribed.
Yeah.
Because
it's not perfect.
Well, I used to remember, I thought it was like someone sitting there at a computer as
I
it's
think
going.
Used to do it that way.
Right?
They used to do it that way.
As they're talking, you're writing it out.
It was like a stenographer at in court, but now it's a little different. Yeah. The Associated Press, Public Affairs Research, according to a new survey, it's from those guys. The poll says that 4 in 10 adults watch closed captions. Yeah, young adults use subtitles because they're watching with noisy environments where older adults choose them to better hear or to understand what is being said. So stop making fun of me for watching closed captions.
Well, do people, if they're watching by themselves, do they also watch with their headphones on sometimes? Like some people are, right? Like they connect the TV to their head, so they're just literally watching it at whatever volume they want or however loud they need it.
I don't know.
Their own.
So, in honor of this story, we are going to turn on the closed captions for Captain Paul's reports here on the radio. Captain Paul, you now are sponsored by Closed Caption.
Well, that's good to know.
In the St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center.
Northbound 55 is running slow at Bayless. Volume is picking up on northbound 270 from Big Bend to 64. We have signal issues around the area in a few spots. The signals are on flash at 141 and Ladue Road, at 55 and Bayless, at eastbound 70 and Jennings Station, and the signals also on flash at Gravois and Grand. This traffic report is brought to you by Fielder Electric. See what everyone is saying about the pros at Fielder Electric. Whether it's a new build or a 100-year-old home, Fielder Electric has you covered. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
Monday, sunshine, another dry day and a hot one too with a high of 89. Monday night, mostly clear, will drop to 62, and Tuesday brings more of the same. Sunny, dry, and hot with an afternoon high of 89 degrees. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Kristen Cornett for the Big 550 KTRS.
Let's talk about your financial well-being in terms of your generational wealth and the little money you have saved and is in a nice little savings account in the house. Oftentimes, right, a lot of money is saved up in the house, and so the next generation is ready to transfer that. Right, you keep hearing about all this transfer of wealth. Well, how are you going to do it? Because that's important. It's just not going to magically happen. That's where Rudy Beck, Jay Lennox, and Carolyn Stoltzer come in for Beck Elder Law. You need to protect your parents. You need to protect yourself. And, of course, then you need to protect future generations. How do you go about doing this? Again, it's not going to happen by itself. What I did, what the Millhavens did, we went to Beck, Lennox, Stoltzer, Estate Planning, and Elder Law Firm. Sat down and said, Rudy Beck, what in the world do we do? He asked me a bunch of questions, and we started the process. We got it done just in the nick of time, by the way. And so I am imploring you to call the Beck Elder Law Gang and get on the schedule. After that, it's very simple. The hardest part is the first phone call, 636-946-7899. He's been a sponsor now on the show for a couple of years, and I can't tell you how many people have texted in, called in, stopped me on the street, and said, thank you. I took your advice. We just finished up. We just started the process. We're in the middle of it. Thank you for telling us, and thank you for giving us the inspiration to go get these things done. You need to protect yourself and future generations. Rudy Beck, 636-946-7899. Jay, Carolyn, Rudy Beck, BeckElderLaw.com.
Hey, it's Jill Farmer for Premier Heating and Cooling. St. Louis winters don't mess around, and neither should you. When those freezing temps hit, the last thing you want to do is discover your furnace isn't up to the job. That's why now is the perfect time to call Premier Heating and Cooling. Their certified technicians will give your system a full checkup, making sure it's safe, efficient, and ready to keep your family warm all season long. Think of it like an oil change for your car. A little preventative care now saves you from big, expensive breakdowns later. Plus, a tuned-up system runs more efficiently, which means lower energy bills when the cold really sets in. So don't wait until you're shivering under 3 blankets. Schedule your heating inspection today with Premier Heating and Cooling. Excellent rating with the Better Business Bureau. So many of their new customers are referred by happy customers like me. PremierHeatingCooling.net, 636-916-1122.
Hi, I'm Mike Robinson with Robank Properties, and I want your fixer-upper home. It's crazy to spend a ton of money fixing it up when I will pay you top dollar right now. I don't even care what condition it's in. Your trash is my treasure. No inspections, no contingencies, just cold, hard cash. Call me, Mike Robinson, at 314-283-0867. That's Mike Robinson, 314-283-0867, or at ROBANGproperties.com.
Hey, it's John Carney with an invite. Not to come to my house, that would be boring. How about a fall home tour at Innsbruck, Saturday, October 18th, noon to 4. And if you haven't been out there, this is a great opportunity to see the A-frames, to see the tree houses, the beautiful homes, the condos, and one of them could be yours. But what a great way to find out. Enjoy the lakes, the golf, and more. Out at Innsbruck, open house on Saturday the 18th, InnsbruckResort.com.
Feeling sluggish or just not quite yourself? It might be time to optimize your hormones. Heidi here for Premier U, the experts in helping men and women feel their absolute best. Premier U specializes in personalized hormone optimization to boost energy, improve mental clarity, and enhance overall wellness. Take charge of your health today. Visit PremierUmed.com and discover how hormone optimization can transform your life. 2 locations on both sides of the river with telemed options. Premier U, where better health begins.
Football is back, which means Dogtown is back. Dogtown Pizza, that is. And with 12 games on Mizzou's upcoming football schedule, you can have a different pizza every game. Kick off the season with a bacon, have a hot chicken on homecoming, and save that pepperoni peppercini, my favorite, for Arkansas. It's football season, and nothing goes better with the pigskin than a hot Dogtown Pizza. Let's cheer on those Missouri Tigers. M-I-Z... D-O-G, Dogtown Pizza, and DogtownPizza.com.
It's Julie Buck here to tell you that the patio is open at Bishop's Post right next to Chesterfield Mall. Get your reservations in now and go to Bishop's Post. You will love it. Tell them Julie Buck sent you, bishopspost.com.
Live from Studio 550, this is The McGraw Show on KTRS.
$6.52 here, Big 550, KTRS. China has bought $12.6 billion in U.S. soybeans last year. That number stands at 0 as of right now as we start the harvest. And the 3 of us combined don't know anything about farming, even though one hosts a farm show and I am a Cornhusker.
I admit that
readily. We admit that readily. So we are over our skis on this story. But If you are watching and following the bouncing ball and keeping the closed captions on, this is getting more bizarre by the day. So China, in this trade war with the United States, has announced that it is not buying soybeans. It's just not buying U.S. soybeans. They just cut a deal with the federal government to sell TikTok. So they're working. They've come to some negotiations. There's lines of communication available, but China has not bought any soybeans. In fact, again, just reading some of the stories, that China, Brazil they're buying a lot of their soybeans. China is buying a lot of their soybeans from Brazil, and just recently, Argentina in South America announced that they were going to suspend their tariffs on soybeans. So Argentina dropped their tariffs on soybeans, which then allowed China, because if you're not going to buy $12 billion worth of soybeans from U.S. farmers, you got to buy them from somewhere else. And they were looking for Argentina, China was. And so Argentina dropped their tariffs, allowing China to now buy soybeans from Argentina as opposed to United States. Okay? Now, so that's where we are. Not good news for the American farmer. But then last week, the Trump administration announced that they were going to hand over $20 billion in foreign aid to Argentina.
Yes.
So I read this last week and I was like, wait, did I read that right? First of all, I can't believe this isn't the biggest story going on.
We lost the sale of soybeans to Argentina, and now we're paying them more money.
We're giving them money to bail them out. They were having a financial crisis. They want to prop up the dollar. They want to grow the pesos. They want to stabilize their government.
So did they do this before or after the soybeans?
Kind of the same time.
During.
Yeah, kind of the same time. Yeah, again, from the top. China's not buying American farmers' soybeans. American farmers put soybeans in the ground. American farmers are about to pull the soybeans out of the ground. American farmers have nowhere to sell or have lost their biggest customer in China. There are stories about where are we going to put these soybeans? There's not enough storage. There's not enough grain bins. And what are we going to do because we've got all these soybeans and we lost our biggest market because China's not buying soybeans? China went to Argentina. Why did they go to Argentina? Because Argentina dropped their tariffs, making it a better buy for China.
And they bought $7 billion worth.
So what does America do? America and their Treasury Secretary and Donald Trump say, oh, Argentina's in some financial trouble. We need to bail out Argentina. And Chuck Grassley, among others, Chuck Grassley, senator from Iowa, is the only one that I can find, a Republican from Iowa, who asks the question on social media, why would USA help bail out Argentina while they take American soybean producers' biggest market? Legitimate question. We should use leverage at every turn to help the hurting farm economy. Family farmers should be top of mind in negotiations by representatives in the United States. So I don't understand this at all. In the 9 o'clock hour, we're going to open it up and ask farmers to call in because I don't. The man was elected to put America first. I don't see how America's first, but clearly I'm not smart enough, so I need you people to explain to me how America first this is. If you're an American farmer, now they're talking about giving. Trump over the weekend announced that he's all these tariff money we're getting, let's just give some to the farmers. So we're going to subsidize the farmers who can't grow their soybeans, so we're going to give them handouts. We destroyed their largest market, give them handouts so their largest market can go and buy from Argentina, then give Argentina a bailout? It makes absolutely no sense to me, and I don't know why this isn't a bigger story. While the world last week was fixated, guilty as charged, on Jimmy Kimmel, this was going on right next to the Jimmy Kimmel story, which affects Missouri way more than whether or not ABC 30 airs Jimmy Kimmel or not. The farm economy affects us here in St. Louis drastically because we are interdependent on the farm economy, and the farm economy is interdependent on the urban economy. So there you go. It makes no sense to me. 9 o'clock hour, I'll open up the phones and maybe we can get some expert farmers from the front lines to explain how they're benefiting from this. 6:59, quick check of traffic. Captain Paul Kopsky in the St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Good morning, Captain Paul.
Good morning, McGraw. Northbound 55 is running slow at Bayless where the signals are on flash. Volume is picking up on northbound 270 from 55 to Gravois and from 64 to Manchester. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Weather-wise, not a drop of rain anywhere in the forecast. Mid to upper 80s all week. Let's start today. High of 88, plenty of sunshine. Tomorrow, 89. Wednesday, maybe a cloud will float by. High of 87 on Wednesday. 64 degrees right now. It is 7 o'clock. KTRS, St. Louis.
Mizzou football.
The rushing touchdown, and Missouri extends the lead.
KTRS AM, FM 106.1, K291CW St. Louis.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Stories are emerging about the horror inside a Flint, Michigan area church on Sunday when a man drove his truck into the building, then opened fire with a high-powered rifle, then set it on fire. 4 killed. ABC's Alex Perez is on the scene.
Paul Kirby ran outside after hearing a loud boom.
Just saw a guy with a gun, and he started opening fire at everybody.
One survivor, still in his blood-stained shirt, telling our ABC affiliate WXYZ the suspect was wearing camouflage and shot at his car as he tried to flee.
He pointed his gun at our car and fired 3 shots. 2 of them went through our windshield and just missed me, and luckily everybody else.
Police say the suspect also set the building on fire, plumes of black smoke filling the sky.
The suspect, identified as Thomas Jacob Sanford, was shot and killed by police after he set the fire. A gunman on a boat shooting at people on a pier along the Cape Fear River in North Carolina. 3 were killed, another 5 wounded. The gunman captured and charged with murder. The man charged with killing Charlie Kirk will have a court hearing today where he and his lawyers can decide whether they want a preliminary hearing where a judge will determine if there's enough evidence to go forward with a trial. Republican and Democratic leaders are set to meet today with President Trump at the White House. ABC's Rachel Scott is there with more on a possible government shutdown tomorrow at midnight.
Democrats say they will not agree to keep the government funded unless Republicans agree to reverse Medicaid cuts and also extend expiring Obamacare subsidies so that health insurance premiums do not rise for millions of Americans. But Republicans are calling that a non-starter, saying that has nothing to do with keeping the government funded.
The White House threatening to fire some government workers who would be affected by the shutdown. President Trump will also meet today at the White House with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on the latest proposal for ending the war in Gaza. You're listening to ABC News.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
A historic Packers-Cowboys football game in Dallas last night.
Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott and Green Bay's Jordan Love had 3 touchdown passes apiece in regulation, but a 53-yard field goal kicked by the Packers' Brandon McManus evened the score as time expired. Green Bay head coach Matt LaFleur.
Obviously didn't come down here to tie a football game, but that's what happened.
The Cowboys' Brian Schottenheimer.
It's definitely one that I will remember.
A rare 40-40 overtime tie. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
A big move in the Big Apple. ABC's Aaron Katursky has more on the mayor's race that got a little less crowded over the weekend.
Just 5 weeks before Election Day, the scandal-scarred mayor of New York City, Eric Adams, is dropping out of the race.
I cannot continue my re-election campaign.
Adams facing mounting pressure, trailing badly in the polls, and the White House urging him to quit. Trump rails against progressive frontrunner Zoran Mamdani, a self-described democratic socialist.
Perhaps a communist mayor.
Trump preferring a one-on-one race between Mamdani and former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo.
Republican Curtis Sliwa is also in the race. Even though it's reported strong demand for air travel and even stronger profits in the years ahead, airline Lufthansa is planning 4,000 layoffs by 2030. The German company says it'll use artificial intelligence to consolidate work among member airlines and figure out what programs are no longer needed. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Early detection is crucial in the fight against breast cancer. Surprisingly, even in women of average risk, abnormalities can be found. So even if you don't think you are at risk, screening is essential to prevention and saving lives. The Show Me Healthy Women program offers free breast and cervical cancer screenings to women ages 21 through 64 free of charge if you qualify. Please visit our website at health.mo.gov/showmehealthywomen or call toll-free 866-726-9926 for more information and to see if you qualify.
61 degrees at 7:05. Here's what's happening now. University of Missouri President Mun Choi is calling for action on crime after a shooting in downtown Columbia over the weekend. The shooting on Saturday left 1 dead and 2 injured. Choi sent a letter to students, staff, and faculty, which reads in part, quote, "For your awareness on Saturday, September 27th, I sent a call to action to city and Boone County leaders. In my message, I communicated that the crime problem in downtown Columbia is at a crisis point. The shootings, burglary, larceny, property damage, trespassing, and loitering are unacceptable. While the efforts of MUPD and others at the University of Missouri have kept our campus safe, the proximity of downtown and the frequent presence of our students there make this an issue of great importance for me and the university. The shooting incident early Saturday morning is just another example of the rampant crime problem that we are witnessing on a daily basis," end quote. Meanwhile, the victim who was killed has been identified as Ayanna Williams, who was a senior at Stevens College. It's back to the bargaining table for Boeing and striking machinists. This time, a federal mediation is being brought in to end the strike. Over 3,000 Boeing employees in the St. Louis area began walking the picket lines on August 4th. Union members have rejected the company's previous contract offers, demanding improved benefits and higher pay. Boeing contends that their offers represent the best deals ever proposed to IAM 37. Governor Mike Kehoe has signed a new congressional map into law that gives Republicans an improved shot at winning an additional U.S. House seat. The mid-decade redistricting is part of President Donald Trump's plan to try to hold on to Republicans' slim majority in next year's congressional elections. But opponents are leading a referendum petition to try to force a statewide vote on the new map. Republicans currently hold 6 of Missouri's 8 U.S. House seats. The revised map targets a district represented by Democratic Representative Emanuel Cleaver by splitting off segments and stretching the remainder of the district into Republican-heavy rural areas. Hundreds of first-time visitors say St. Louis exceeded their expectations. KTRS's Sobe Bay has the story.
The St. Louis Sports Commission conducted the study while the city was hosting the NCAA Men's Frozen Four earlier this spring. Of the 700 visitors, 74% said St. Louis exceeded their expectations. The first-time visitors were also asked to provide one word to describe their impression of St. Louis. Before their visits, 4 of the 16 most used words carry negative connotations, such as dirty, dangerous, boring, and unsafe. After their visits, the top 5 post-visit responses included words of positive connotations, like fun, clean, great, nice, and beautiful. Sobe Bay, KTRS News.
The site of the Millennium Hotel in downtown St. Louis is one step closer to demolition. This comes after the St. Louis Board of Aldermen approved a redevelopment plan. The Gateway Arch Foundation will now work with construction companies to demolish the building, which is scheduled to happen over the next 2 years. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, a place for all your floral needs. You can place your order anytime at WKF.com. 61 degrees. Time now is 7:08. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
All right. Thank you, Rose. We got Stephen Portnoy is going to be joining us. We got a government shutdown coming up tomorrow. We got a government shutdown coming up. Well, it's going to be Wednesday. It's going to be the official day. And because Wednesday is 30 days, has September, April, June, and November. So today's the 29th. Tomorrow's the 30th. Thank you.
Do that again? What is it?
30 days has September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31, except February.
Nice. All right.
Yeah. So Stephen Portnoy's got the government shutdown. We're going to go to ABC and check in with this awful story of this Michigan a church shooting yesterday. Stephen Roberts has got Trump's revenge tour. Randy's going to talk a little sports. Ben Barnett's going to talk some Timberline professional tree care. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, we want to talk to some farmers to call in and talk about this soybean Argentina bailout story. Some soybean manufacturers, some soybean associations not happy. So we'll get into that with some farmers in the 9 o'clock hour. What is so funny?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know, just in the.
Well, I'm trying to. The problem is I'm trying to be
specific.
I'm trying to do 5 things at once.
I know. I'm just making fun of you.
I'm trying to carry you people all morning long. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going. Benjamin Netanyahu plans to speak with President Trump today to discuss the Middle East and Israel and Gaza, and all stories point to President Trump not being happy. And if there is, apparently it could go very wrong. There are some people who say that President, reading the tea leaves, there are some stories that say that President Trump is not happy with Benjamin Netanyahu, and there might come to some disagreement today, which would be weird if that were to happen. I don't believe it. I can't believe it, that he would somehow leave his wingman. But if he does, that means in just a few short weeks, he would have gone from being, kicking Zelensky out of the Oval Office to now kicking Benjamin Netanyahu out of the Oval Office. I mean, that's gone from, talk about a 180. You go from being all in on Israel and then being all against Ukraine to being all in on Ukraine and being all against Israel. That is a shocking move from one side of the street to the other in a matter of just a couple of weeks. I don't see it happening, but we'll have to wait and see. And then, of course, the story over the weekend is that they're sending federal troops to Portland?
Yeah. War-torn Portland.
War-torn Portland.
Well, and then, President Montoya of Colombia is talking about, it's like, send troops to Columbia, downtown Columbia, then.
I mean, it sounds like Columbia is way worse than Portland.
I'm just saying, I don't remember hearing much about Portland, but I'm hearing a lot about Columbia.
They had BLM riots a couple years ago.
I didn't know Columbia was such a hotbed.
I didn't either.
Right? I mean, I crimes of, stealing somebody's book bag, and not to make light of crime, but there's different crimes in downtown Columbia than in downtown St. Louis.
Mizzou's 5-0.
But larceny, burglary,
right? You wouldn't. I could see, some harassment, some violence against women. I could see some property crimes, some smash and grabs. Yeah. But what was a story I read the other day where they stole the underground copper from the courthouse?
Yes.
In downtown St. Louis? You get my tip of the cap to some of these criminals. They went underground and stole the copper, and now they've been without phones for 2 weeks in the courthouse.
Oh.
Yeah. The bad guys went in underground and took the copper from the telecommunications line. They have to know what they're doing. This isn't some random person who's going to go then take this to the pawn shop. I mean, clearly you've got to have some knowledge of how to go. It's different than stealing someone's air conditioner and taking it down to the local pawn shop for $20
or a gutter.
You got to have a fence, man.
You gotta know what you're doing to get underground, to go cut the wires, to go take. I mean, how much are they taking to go? And the vandalism is so bad. They've been without phones for like 2 weeks down in the courthouse.
Job.
I'm saying tip of the cap to whoever did it. I mean, that's why don't we just give them the money? Wouldn't it be easier if we just gave them whatever they wanted,
or catch them and prosecute them,
or stop them in the process? But I mean, that one is.
Or find a different way for the phone lines. Why are we still at copper? Like,
use your cell phone.
Stealing copper, right? Like.
I mean, well, and then how do you have a functioning courthouse if you don't have phones for 2 weeks, week and a half? I mean,
they can't fax.
I read that story. I was amazed. It's like you're working without phones for days at a time in a courthouse.
Oh.
How is that possible? 7:14 here, Big 550 KTRS. Let's talk about Neighbors Credit Union. You know what's possible is an all-day debit account with Neighbors Credit Union. What they did is they took a survey of St. Louisans, and they did a search, and they found out what St. Louisans wanted in a checking account. And what they found out was that they were sick and tired of being nickeled and dimed. And every time there was an overdraft, there's another fee. Oh, there's another fee. There's another fee. So Neighbors Credit Union got together, and they opened up a new checking account. They call it Debit All Day, doing away with many of those fees and opening up an account called Debit All Day. What they've found since they've announced this is that people are running. They're not walking briskly. They're running to Neighbors Credit Union to go open up a Debit All Day account, one of their 8 area locations. While you're there, ask about the smart accounts. Another great way to teach the next generation about financial literacy. Neighbors Credit Union, this is what they do. They help out, and they reach out, and they give the community what they want and what they need. So kudos to Neighbors Credit Union for listening to the community. Debit All Day accounts at Neighbors Credit Union. To find one nearest you, neighborscu.org. Neighborscu.org. St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center here once again is Captain Paul Kopsky.
McGraw, an accident on northbound 55 at Route A in Festus is causing a backup to US 67. Northbound 55 is running slow at Bayless where the signals are on flash. The signal's also on flash at 141 and Ladue Road, at eastbound 70 in Jennings Station, and at Gravois and Grand. Northbound 55 is crowded around Tesson Ferry and Gravois and from Big Bend to Manchester. Drive time from 270 and Tesson Ferry to Manchester is 9 minutes. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
Check the calendar. We are just 2 days away from October, but boy, fall temperatures nowhere in sight. We are stuck in a warm and, yep, you guessed it, dry weather pattern. Sunny skies today, hot this afternoon if you're out in that full sunshine, up to 89 for the high. Thankfully, humidity is low. We'll slip back into the 70s by about 8 o'clock tonight, heading for a low around 63. Mostly sunny and hot again Tuesday afternoon, the high bouncing right back up to about 89. As of now, I have no rain in the 10-day forecast. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, let's talk retirement, because at some point you'd like to retire and go sit on a beach somewhere, read a book, and turn off all this craziness, right? Well, first you have to get your financial house in order. And what's the fastest way to ruining your retirement? Not planning for inflation and taxes. Inflation erodes your wealth. Taxes erode your wealth. You want to avoid, nothing you can really do about inflation, but there is something you can do about taxes. What does that mean? When you retire, you start taking money out of the accounts. If you take it out wrong or the wrong way, you can cause massive amounts of tax, thus eroding your wealth. Or you can call Kevin Lloyd. He will come up with a true financial plan and strategy, and then you'll take the money out smart, avoid paying taxes, keeping the money there so it will grow. 2 ways to retire. Your choice. What are you doing? 314-641-1010. If you are already retired, you have not missed the window. There are things you can do in retirement to help you mitigate taxes going forward. Why? Because it's going forward. There's nothing you can do about taxes from 2020. Nothing you can do about that tax bill. But there is something you can do about your tax bill for 2030. And that's why you sit down with Kevin Lloyd, right? You want to keep the money you've earned. 314-641-1010. And you want to control the things you can control. We can't control inflation, but we can control the taxes in retirement that we pay. How? With one phone call to Kevin Lloyd. 314-641-1010 or the website whenretirementhappens.com.
Mom, what do you always say? There's nothing sadder than jewelry that sits in a drawer. That's why we are proud to offer jewelry repair on site at Newstetter's Fine Jewelry. We know that your jewelry is important to you, and we take that part of our job very seriously. Visit us at Doherty Ferry in Big Bend or learn more at wowdiamonds.com.
Look at our alums, the contributions that they have made throughout industries in the St. Louis region.
Terry Freerks, a graduate of the University of Missouri, St. Louis.
UMSL is embedded in the fabric of the St. Louis community. We're hands-on, and when our students graduate, they are definitely career ready, but maybe more importantly, they're career confident.
More is what moves us. Find your more at more.umsl.edu.
We hear so much about quality time, but it's the quantity of time that we want. Every member of the family gets enlisted in so many activities. As quality time usurps quantity, there's so little time to enjoy the freedoms that make America the envy of the world. If we could only unplug, disengage, and spend quality time together, well, we can, in an RV. Escape into a whole new world in a Byerly RV.
Byerly RV.
Wherever you go, you're always at home in a Byerly RV.
It's Julie Buck here to tell you that the patio is open at Bishop's Post right next to Chesterfield Mall. Get your reservations in now and go to Bishop's Post. You will love it. Tell them Julie Buck sent you, bishopspost.com.
Diana from Newstetter's Fine Jewelers here to remind you, we don't just offer the best pieces, we offer one of the last master hand engravers in our country. My father can create timeless, personal, and unforgettable pieces. Come by our showroom at the corner of Big Bend and Doherty Ferry or learn more online at wowdiamonds.com.
This is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
What in the world? Is the record skipping?
Yes.
What is that?
It's Primus. One of the best bassists in the world.
Oh, yes.
Les
The
Claypool.
best.
It's his
All
birthday
right.
today.
Okay.
Is it really?
Yeah.
7:21 here, Big 550 KTRS. So, the mapping agency opens up. They had the ribbon cutting on Friday. Congratulations to them. So now we'll see what happens there. Also announced the City Foundry. Excuse me. The City Foundry developer is going to renovate the Mansion House in downtown St. Louis, which is probably in need of a bit of an overhaul. God love him. 721 here, Big 550 KTRS. Stephen Portnoy joins us now to talk about the congressional shutdown. They're meeting today, Stephen Roberts?
Yeah, they are meeting today.
Sorry.
Bicameral, that's fine. No, hey, that's enough. Bicameral, bipartisan leadership meets at the White House today with President Trump, and this is pretty much the last chance to avoid a government shutdown on Wednesday. Both sides have to come to some sort of agreement on a stopgap measure one way or another, and for the moment, Democrats have drawn a line in the sand. They are making demands in exchange for the lifting of a filibuster in the Senate. They want to see a reversal of the recent Medicaid changes that were part of the One Big Beautiful Bill. They want to see an extension of expiring tax credits, subsidies that have made the Obamacare exchange plans more affordable over the last few years. Republicans are, for the moment, not interested in either one of those things, and it'll be interesting to see what happens today, whether the president is able to say, let's meet in the middle or not. The White House has been advising government agencies that in the event of a lapse in appropriations, better known as a shutdown, they should be identifying positions that they could eliminate on a more permanent basis. And that's certainly something that you'd imagine the White House would be interested in doing. But nevertheless, Democrats see it as an empty threat. They say that any kind of job eliminations, reductions in force could be fought in the courts or simply reversed because the administration has realized that when they fire people, all of a sudden they sometimes find a need to hire them back.
Yeah, so I don't necessarily see these two groups of people sort of trying to find common ground. So in a sense, this meeting is a lot more for show. I mean, they can get it done with the phone calls and a couple of texts. I don't know if they need a show of a meeting to show they're sort of working together.
Listen, that would be what Republicans have been saying, and Democrats have been saying, we're ready to meet. They won't even talk to us, and so we're going to have that meeting, it seems, today. And we'll see if anything comes of it. I've seen these kinds of meetings not bear fruit. So we'll see what comes of today, but it certainly offers an opportunity to for everyone to demonstrate that they're at least in the same room together.
Yeah, it looks like the Democrats are much more ready for a fight this time than last time.
Certainly that. I mean, look, the last time we were in this position was in March of this year, and ultimately Senate Democrats agreed to a full-year continuing resolution that took us to this point. As we've been discussing, Senate Leader Chuck Schumer on the Democratic side got a lot of flack from his left flank, the argument being that, Schumer was sort of, I won't say complicit, but, watching and observing as the DOGE cuts were taking place earlier this year, and Democrats were like, do something. And Chuck Schumer says, this could wind up being worse for government workers if we, cause a shutdown now. He seems to have come around to the idea that maybe it wouldn't be the worst thing. What they're trying to do is draw attention to what they call a healthcare affordability crisis. And the reason they're making these demands with respect to Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act exchanges, Obamacare, is the idea that they want to portray Republicans as unconcerned about the impact on working families. I think the difficulty for the Democrats is, as concerned as people are about health care costs, if you have benefits at work, this won't affect you. If you have Medicare, this won't affect you. If you're on Medicaid, Republicans insist that the program won't result in a reduction of benefits as a function of the changes. What Democrats say is, yes, but rural hospitals will wind up falling down on their finances and they'll have to close, and it'll all be because of choices Republicans made. And they're trying to draw attention to future issues. And it's difficult in a, political environment in which people are, easily distracted. It's hard to follow these things. It's very complicated, and it's entirely theoretical until the rubber meets the road and people actually wind up seeing their prices increase. Democrats are trying to get ahead of it now, and Republicans are betting that people just are not as engaged or as concerned as Democrats believe they are.
We've gone through this so many times, and each time it seems like it's more and more political, and now it just seems like all pretense of this is off the table, and they all want to make sure the other side gets blamed for the shutdown.
To a significant extent, both sides are posturing. The Republican argument, by the way, I have to mention it, is the fact that we have a $37 trillion debt. And when you look at the cost, for example, of these expiring health insurance exchange subsidies, the CBO estimates it's a $350 billion 10-year cost to extend these tax credits permanently. And it benefits those people who are not covered at work, who are on the open market, and it is a transient group. It's people who are in between jobs. It's people who work part-time. It's people who perhaps may be self-employed. I don't know all the contours of it, but I know that it's not most people. I mean, you're talking about an environment or a universe of, let's just say, 20 million people. That's a lot of people, and Democrats are saying they're the ones that they're fighting for. But that's where the battle lines have been drawn for Democrats. Not to mention Medicaid, which they see as a soft spot for Republicans, because in a lot of red states, a lot of people on that program, and Democrats are saying, you have no idea, folks, what kind of harm and damage this is going to do to people's livelihoods in Republican states.
Yeah, stay tuned. So today's the meeting. They run out of money, right? Close down the government tomorrow at 5 o'clock, right?
Yes, tomorrow, I guess close of business would be sort of when things, quote unquote, shut down. Ultimately, when it comes to, and it would be interesting to see the dynamic when it comes to exactly how this is being implemented in the second Trump term. In the first Trump term, 2018, we had a shutdown that lasted more than a month. It was a rather conventional one. Since then, Congress has passed a law that says that government workers who are furloughed will receive back pay, no matter how long the shutdown lasts. So one way of looking at that is, okay, if you're a federal worker, you don't have to worry about, receiving back pay and being made whole. That used to be an issue where they had to agree. That's now sort of, it's settled law. But how long might the shutdown last? How long can you last without a paycheck? And even if you're being made whole, do you have enough cash on hand to carry you? Then there's the question of what about government contractors and people who work, in a sort of a dependent upon federal workers and receiving their benefits. There could be untold economic harm, but it's kind of sort of, and we don't know again what the plan would be to seek to eliminate positions within the federal government on a permanent basis. That's a new element here.
Yeah, stay tuned. Stephen Portnoy, thanks for checking in.
You bet.
728. Let's talk Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, the Dorothy and Larry Dallas Heart Center. Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital building a brand new hospital right there in Grand and Shoto. You see the cranes hanging off the side of the buildings, and each and every day they get closer and closer. That Dorothy and Larry Dallas Heart Center, state of the art, will have a new home, and it will be ready for the 21st century. They do science fiction. When you talk to any of the doctors, any of the nurses, any of the support staff, and you hear about what they're doing to save lives, mothers and babies and everybody else, your jaw drops. You just can't believe they're doing what now? It sounds like an episode of Star Trek. But they do it every single day right there at Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. We team up with them for all sorts of events, including our Light Up Glennon. We'll talk more about that as we get closer to the holidays. Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. To find out more, to find out about a wonderful part of St. Louis, and something we should all be very proud of. Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, doing God's work every single day. Glennon.org is the website. SSM Health, Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, Glennon.org. Captain Paul, once again in the St. Louis Plaza Company Traffic Center.
McGraw northbound 55 is running slow from Bayless, where the signals are on flash, to Weber. The signals are also on flash at 141 and Ladue Road. At eastbound 70 in Jennings Station and at Gravois and Grand, northbound 55 is crowded around Gravois and from Big Bend to Manchester. Drive time from 270 and Tesson Ferry to Manchester is 10 minutes. This traffic report is brought to you by the City of Eureka and Eureka Days. There's fun for the whole family at Eureka Days, October 3rd through the 5th. Carnival rides, foods and crafts, a beer garden, a wing eating contest, kickball and cornhole tournaments, knocker ball, a kids corner, and a rock wall, and plenty of live music with a parade and fireworks. Visit eurekadays.com. From the KTRS St. Louis Plaza Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Weather-wise, for the next couple of days, 80s, upper 80s, today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. Not a drop of rain, plenty of sunshine, and upper 80s the next couple of days. No real rain in the forecast for the foreseeable future. We're going to be in the upper 80s, seems like all week long. Right now, it is 64 degrees at 7:31. Let's go back to the newsroom. Here's Rose Dalton.
The Taliban have freed a U.S. citizen from an Afghan prison. That's weeks after they announced an agreement with U.S. envoys on a prisoner exchange. The Taliban's deputy spokesperson on Sunday identified the man as Amir Amiri, but did not provide details on his detention. Democratic and Republican congressional leaders are heading to the White House in a late effort to avoid a government shutdown. But both sides have shown hardly any willingness to budge. If government funding legislation is not passed by Congress and signed by President Donald Trump on Tuesday night, many government offices will be temporarily shuttered and non-exempt federal employees will be furloughed. In local headlines, the City Foundry developer plans to redevelop the Mansion House in downtown St. Louis. New Plus Found says its $195 million renovation of the nearly 60-year-old building will entail a top-to-bottom makeover. And Missouri Farmers Care is now accepting applications for the 2026 Drive to Feed Kids grant program. The initiative provides funding for local projects aimed at reducing food insecurity in communities across Missouri. The applications are available online at mofarmerscare.com. 64 degrees. Time now is 7:32. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Don't miss Straight Talk on Retirement with Jeff and Aaron Lapidus every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Join this dynamic father-daughter duo every Saturday morning for an entertaining and intimate understanding of the retirement needs you may soon be facing. From decades of financial planning expertise combined with a deep knowledge of healthcare benefits, Aaron and Jeff will give you the Straight Talk on Retirement every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here on the Big 550. KTRS.
Galmish & Sons have been providing quality heating and cooling services since 1950. They work exclusively with Lennox, the preferred choice of St. Louis homeowners. Call Galmish & Sons for your next Lennox HVAC installation and service. 314-993-1110.
Football is back, and Underdog is the best place to select entries and win money all season long. Tune in to the Press Box with Frank Cusimano every Monday night from 6 to 7 to get Frank's entries of the week. Sign up with promo code FRANK550.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardy contractor and Pella Windows specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation, 314-569-1050. And have a Banner Day.
You know what they say, you never get a second chance to make a first impression, and windows and doors are usually that first impression when it comes to your home. Dalco Home Remodeling custom makes their windows and doors, and better yet, they make them here in Missouri. Dalco Home Remodeling is locally and family owned, celebrating 50 years, so they know a thing or two. The Dalco team is known for quality and customer satisfaction. That's the way it was 50 years ago when they started, and that's still true today. So if you're looking to change the look of your home without breaking the bank, call Dalco Home Remodeling. They do free in-home estimates. Just call 314-298-7300 and make an appointment. You can also check them out online at dalcohomeremodeling.com. As they've always said, if you buy somewhere else and find out how much you could have saved at Dalco, you'll blow your stack. So call Dalco first, 314-298-7300.
McGraw, live in the morning on KTRS.
Another tragedy, this time in Michigan at a church service packed Sunday morning. Somebody went in, drove through, started shooting, engulfed in flames. Josh Margolin, chief investigative reporter at ABC News. What exactly happened yesterday, Josh?
Police are still trying to piece it together, but 25 minutes or so after church services started at 10 a.m. local, so about 10:25, first 911 call came in. Within seconds, law enforcement was on the scene, but a suspect had rammed his truck into the church and then started firing. And then at some point in this 8-minute episode, the individual spreads out some accelerant, a gasoline or a gasoline-type product, lights a fire, and ultimately he is killed in a shootout with police. But the church goes up in flames. It's a 5-alarm fire. The building collapses, and they're still sifting through the rubble now.
Heartbreaking. All right, what are the numbers? People are still missing as of this morning?
Yes, there are people who are still unaccounted for. We don't have those numbers. Police have not put that out, but the number, general ballpark we're getting is, maybe 6 or 7 or so. That's a terrible number. Obviously, they talk to friends and family. Did everybody you came with to church, has everybody gotten out? Are they with you? The death toll is 4 dead right now, 2 who were shot, 2 more who were found in the rubble of the church as the search went on yesterday, 8 injured. Those injuries range from critical to more minor. Obviously, even a minor injury is terrible and could be life-altering. But we do expect that the worst number is likely to rise today.
The 40-year-old man you said was killed in the shootout with police. What do we know about this man? And I hate to ask what's the motive, because there never really is a motive for this, but what do we know about him?
We know a good deal about him. We just don't have any any picture that tells us about a motive, even anything that gives you any hints right now. 40 years old, family man, lived in the community about 8 miles away from the church location. So it's not some sort of intruder the way that some people might suggest. He Iraq war veteran, served 4 years, discharged as a sergeant, had built a proficiency working on vehicles of war as a mechanic. No issues that we know about in the military. Something might be there if we talk to people, but investigators are doing that right now. Family man had a child who had some illness. The illness was not diagnosed for a while. It led to an emotional and financial strain on the family. But again, people have those types of things in their lives every single day and don't act out. So we don't have the things that people immediately think about. Any writings on social media, any physical writings in a notebook, a letter, some statement to a member of a family or a friend about what is bothering this person. We just literally have this at this point, it's an unpredictable act of violence that broke out yesterday morning.
Was the man affiliated with the church in any way, shape, or form?
It's a great question. We've been asking that. At this point, there is no obvious connection. We don't know him to be a practicing member of the Latter-day Saints community. We don't know that he had a connection to the church. Obviously, that's a critical focus for investigators. It could even be that there's a sort of work relationship with the church. I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying they're looking at it because, did he work there? Was he a contractor? Did he do some work for them or something? That could be something. We've seen plenty of workplace violence episodes. They just don't know at this point, and it's important for them to find out. It will not bring anybody back. It will not bring the church back. It will not heal those who are injured. It will help law enforcement determine if there was something that was missed, if there is some greater lesson that the community should take away in terms of trying to prevent these things in the future. And look, we are in the middle of this terrible spiral of violence right now in this country, and each one of these things is different, and it's important to understand what's going on.
Josh Margolin, ABC News Chief Investigative Reporter. Josh, good stuff. Sad story. Thanks for checking in.
Have a great day. Thanks.
7:40 here, Big 550 KTRS. On a lighter note, have you been watching interest rates? They've been fluctuating, and after the Fed dropped the rates, they were going down. The Fed dropped the rates, and the interest rates went up a little bit. And so I don't watch them as much as, say, Stewart at Stewart's American Mortgage does, and I don't think you watch them as closely as Stewart does. But here's the deal. If you can lock in on a lower rate to refinance the house you're in, call Stewart and say, Stewart, I'm ready to go. If you've already worked with Stewart where he's closed your house, you're already in his system, if you will, and so he'll reach out. But there's nothing wrong with calling Stewart and saying, hey, run the numbers for me. Does this make sense? People are starting to put more houses on the market. Read some stories that things are starting to loosen up a little bit, and so you want to try and find a mortgage. Well, guess what? You have lots of options out there. Why would Stewart be any better than any of the other ones? One specific reason. His jokes are not any funnier. He's a nice man, good family man, great company. But what Stewart has that nobody else has is he doesn't charge any fees. That's $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, sometimes more, in terms of fees that you don't pay when you use Stewart. So you refinance now, you lock in the rate now. If it goes down 6, 8, 10 months from now, great, you lock in again. Since it doesn't cost you any money, you just basically reset the loan at a lower rate and put the money back in your pocket. It doesn't cost you anything. No fees. Stewart's been a sponsor of the show for 10 years. For the longest time, people still can't wrap their head around the no fees part. It's true. Call Stewart. He'll run the numbers for you. 314-324-4440 or stewartsamc.com.
Hey, it's John Carney with an invite. Not to come to my house. That would be boring. How about a fall home tour at Innsbruck, Saturday, October 18th, noon to 4. And if you haven't been out there, this is a great opportunity to see the A-frames, to see the tree houses, the beautiful homes, the condos, and one of them could be yours. But what a great way to find out. Enjoy the lakes, the golf, and more. Out at Innsbruck, open house on Saturday the 18th, InnsbruckResort.com.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset. Few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor and Pella window specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation, 314-569-1050. And have a banner day.
You've seen the movies Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick. Have you always wondered what it would be like to be a Top Gun instructor or pilot? Now is your chance at the National Museum of Transportation. On October 15th at 7 p.m., Captain Kevin Proton McLaughlin, United States Navy retired former commander of Top Gun and technical advisor to the movie Top Gun Maverick, will be the featured speaker. Tickets are $30. Reserve your spot now online at tnmot.org at the National Museum of Transportation.
Most people think if I name my husband as beneficiary, everything's going to be okay, and that's not necessarily true.
I'm Scott Garcia with Premier Estate and Income Planning.
What am I doing taking care of people after somebody has passed and all the mess that comes with that?
And I'm Jennifer Cermak, Chief Counsel and Estate Planning Attorney of Premier Estate and Income Planning.
No longer is the attorney the gatekeeper to your lives.
Let us show you how to protect your assets, avoid probate, and retire with confidence.
Having an estate plan could be the most important document you could ever have.
The Premier Income and Estate Planning Show, this Saturday at 4 and this Sunday morning at 7 on the Big 550 KTRS.
You might know Graybar for cable and connectivity, but there's one more thing you should know us for that can help optimize your project's total value, like our comprehensive electronic solutions for security, AV, wireless, and networking, or our specialized job site services, like material staging and kitting, or maybe our logistics specialist, who can help you identify efficiencies and ensure just-in-time delivery. So, consider what one more thing you may need to optimize your bottom line and get to know us for that. Yep, Graybar does that.
St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Here is Captain Paul Kopsky. Captain, take it away.
And McGraw northbound 55 is nearly bumper to bumper from Bayless, where the signals are on flash to Weber. The signal's also on flash at 141 and Ladue Road, at eastbound 70 and Jennings Station, and at Gravois and Grand. Northbound 55 is crowded from 44 to Doherty Ferry. Drive time from 270 and Tesson Ferry to Manchester is 10 minutes. And eastbound 70 is busy around Clarkson and further east at 170. This traffic report is brought to you by Dents Express. Drive time can be hectic with traffic, weather, and fender benders. Dents Express can help with hassle-free dent removal, minor collision repair, and hail damage repair. Free evaluations, and they take care of the insurance paperwork. They've got 2 locations on Manchester and Baldwin and in St. Charles. DentsExpressSTL.com. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
Monday, sunshine, another dry day and a hot one too, with a high of 89. Monday night, mostly clear, will drop to 62, and Tuesday brings more of the same. Sunny, dry, and hot, with an afternoon high of 89 degrees. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Kristen Cornett for the Big 550 KTRS.
Let's talk John Beal Roofing, because the storm's still taking a toll on the region, and you go outside and you're still hearing the pop, pop, pop of the nail guns as they're fixing roofs all over town. Look, here's what you do. You call John Beal, and you get in the queue, and you say, hey, guys, come check out the house, and they'll get up on the roof, and they'll start the process. You start to make a claim, and you go down that road. Do not hire somebody who knocks on your door who's from out of town. How do you know they're from out of town? Well, you can just sort of tell, right? They're knocking on your door. They can't be any nicer. They're overly nice. Maybe they have a Missouri license plate on their truck or not. That doesn't mean anything. You know how easy it is to go get a Missouri license. First thing you do is head to the DMV. The second thing they do is go to your house after they cross the state line. Look, you need a roofer you can trust, and John Beal will be the first one to say, call John Beal. And then he'll say, and if you don't call John Beal, Call another local roofing company. Keep it in the family. Residential, commercial. They'll work with the insurance company. They've been a proud sponsor for 20-plus years. 1-800-NEW-ROOF, 1-800-NEW-ROOF. John Beal or johnbealroofing.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Before you put your home on the market, before you have to pay money fixing it up to sell it, before you have to pay real estate commissions, call me. I'm Mike Robinson with Robank Properties, and I will buy your home. Any property, any condition, anywhere, and always as is. Call me, Mike Robinson with Robank Properties at 314-283-0867. That's 314-283-0867. You have nothing to lose when you call Robank Properties at 314-283-0867.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It's the half price sale at Miller Furniture and Mattress, going on now through October 14th.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. Right now, save half off our list price on all in-stock items. Plus, half off custom orders from Flex Steel, Smith Brothers, Amish-made furniture, and more.
And get 12 months financing, no interest, no minimum purchase. See our fully stocked Flex Steel galleries in the area's largest selection of Amish-made furniture. Plus, up to 75% off the list price on our outdoor furniture.
Sleep better and save big. Right now, get a free adjustable base with the purchase of any Chatham & Wells mattress. Plus, half price on select floor model mattresses from Stearns & Foster, Tempur-Pedic, and Spring Air.
Visit any of our 4 locations in Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, or Ellisville and save on over $8 million of inventory. You'll see why we were voted the Retailer of the Year by the Home Furnishings Association.
Don't miss the half-price sale at Miller Furniture now through October 14th. At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
This is the McGraw Show on KTRS. Mizzou football.
The rushing touchdown, and Missouri extends the lead.
KTRS AM, FM 106.1, K291CW St. Louis.
$750 here, Big 550 KTRS. There's unprecedented is being thrown around quite a bit, probably in an unprecedented type of way, after President Trump tried to bring charges, or I should say the administration tried to bring charges against James Comey on 2 counts of lying to Congress. President Trump and his allies say, hang tight, more is to come. Stephen Roberts, ABC News political analyst. Read the tea leaves for us. What's going on here?
Well, a couple of things. One is, let's remember the memorial service for Charlie Kirk, where his widow, Erica, got up and made this enormously powerful and fervent appeal where she said, the answer to hate is not hate. And President Trump got up and basically said, yes, it is. He said flat out, I hate my enemies. Sorry, Erica, I hate my enemies. And in turn, Democrats have hated Donald Trump. We're in a cycle of vitriol and vengeance, but Trump is the president, and he has the power. And he has vowed that the indictment of Comey, which at best was flimsy, 2 counts of the professional prosecutors in Virginia turned down, said the evidence is not nearly good enough. He fires the career prosecutors. He puts in one of his deputies and gets a 2-count indictment from the grand jury and vows to go after other people. He vows to go after Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York, Senator Schiff of California, John Bolton, his former national security advisor. This is a crusade of vengeance and revenge, fueled by in his own words, his hatred of his enemies. The only historical parallel I can think of is Nixon. who you use the power of the presidency to order the burglary of the Democratic headquarters, who went after his critics. And ever since then, we've had a tradition in this country of separating the Justice Department and the FBI from extraordinary presidential power. And that's what Trump has abrogated. Listen to the Washington Post this morning. The acceleration and audacity of Trump's efforts threaten to obliterate what remains of long-standing Justice Department traditions of independence from White House interference. Yes, the president appoints, Attorney General appoints the FBI director, but there has been, since Watergate, that tradition of these law enforcement officials also have a loyalty to the law and to fairness that separates them from pure partisanship. And that's the tradition, in the words of the Post, that Donald Trump is in the process of obliterating.
Yeah, it seems, though, that it doesn't matter unless his supporters start to leave him. And I know he's, underwater in whatever poll you want to believe he's in. He's in the low 40s or upper 30s. But until his base starts to leave him, I don't see anything changing.
Well, I agree with that, and I don't think his base is going to leave him over this issue. I think they agree with him that Comey is the enemy. I think they accept his argument that Democrats unfairly persecuted him when he was president. They brought impeachment charges against him twice, and he has told them for years and years and years that the deep state was out to get them, that he was the bulwark against left-wing insanity. And I don't think this issue is going to shake their allegiance. As you and I have talked many, many times, the real threat to Trump is the economy, because folks who believe him and accept and cheer him on when it comes to indicting Comey, but if their own grocery bills go up, if their own kids can't find a job, if the own, Christmas presents cost more because of tariffs, that's the one area where I think his fervent supporters might chip away. But this is not it.
Yeah, no, and I often joke people melted down when President Clinton and Loretta Lynch had a meeting on a tarmac in Arizona, and that led to James Comey taking over the investigation of Hillary's emails, which I guess was the start of this. But that meeting was so inappropriate that she had to allow the FBI to handle the whole thing, and now you have Donald Trump saying we're going after more guys. I mean, we've come a long way since then.
And there's one group that I do think, and there's never been really strong Trump supporters, but it's fascinating to me. People who are true conservatives, who believe in small government and personal liberty, are appalled at Donald Trump because he's not a conservative. He's using government power, exactly what he accused Democrats of doing, of promoting cancel culture, using their power to enforce ideas and to punish enemies. This was the whole argument he made against cancel culture, and it was very effective. He's now the canceller in chief. He's using the power of the government to go after enemies like Comey. And true conservatives, whether the editorial board of the Wall Street Journal or even when you had Senator Ted Cruz saying, don't go after Jimmy Kimmel because you might feel good now, but when the Democrats are in power, they're going to go after conservatives. True conservatives really do believe in limited government power. And they have to be looking at this crusade that Trump is conducting, using government power to punish his enemies, as very, very different from traditional conservative ideology.
Yeah, well, that's the part of the transformation of the Republican Party, right? The Paul Ryans of the world, the George Wills, the Bill Kristols of the world, right? Those guys have sort of left the party or have been marginalized. This is not your grandfather's Republican Party.
Not even close, and Because as I keep saying, Donald Trump is not a conservative. He plays a conservative on television, right? Because he adopts certain conservative ideas like opposing transgender rights or same-sex marriage and issues like that. But the heart of conservatism has always been, as I say, a belief in small government and maximum personal liberty. And when you start firing government prosecutors to put in their place loyalists who are going to bring charges against your enemies, that's the absolute antithesis of traditional conservative philosophy.
More importantly, what do you think of your Yankees as they start their march for another championship?
I'm hopeful. They've been playing very well. They finished the season winning 8 straight games. But, in a short series, anything can happen. I don't think there's a single dominant team in either league. I think maybe the Phillies are the best team, but I think any one of the teams in this playoff can actually win, and that's going to make it fun. But Yankees are a very good team, but they got a lot of flaws too.
Yankees, Red Sox, the first round of the playoffs. Stephen Roberts will watch right along with you. Have yourself a good week. Thanks for checking in, as always.
Okay, pal.
All right. 7:58 here, Big 550 KTRS. St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Here is Captain Paul Kopsky. Captain, take it away.
McGraw, an accident on eastbound 70 at Hanley is causing a stop and go back up to 170. Northbound 55 is running slow from Bayless, where the signals are on flash, to Weber. Northbound 55 crowded from 44 past Manchester. Drive time from 270 and Tesson Ferry to Manchester is 13 minutes. This traffic report is brought to you by Neighbors Credit Union. Check out the Neighbors Credit Union Debit All Day account, a checklist checking account featuring a Neighbors Visa debit card, the convenience of online and mobile banking, and access to your direct deposits up to 2 days early. Online at neighborscu.org. Federally insured by NCUA. Membership eligibility required. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
It's going to be hot, upper 80s. Yes, the calendar is correct. October begins on a Wednesday, and we're going to be in the upper 80s all weekend long. Not a drop of rain anywhere to be had. High today of 88 with plenty of sunshine. Tomorrow, we're in the upper 80s, 89 with plenty of sunshine. Wednesday, 87 with plenty of sunshine. Maybe a cloud will sneak in there on Wednesday. Right now, it is 65 degrees. Coming up 8 o'clock here on the Big 550 KTRS.
Mizzou football.
The rushing touchdown, and Missouri extends the lead.
KTRS AM, FM 1061, K291CW St. Louis.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. With just days to go until a potential government shutdown, President Trump will sit down with congressional Democrats and Republicans today discussing a possible deal. ABC's Rachel Scott tracking the latest from Capitol Hill.
The president had originally canceled a meeting with top Democrats. Now that is back on. So the first time since taking office in January, the president will be sitting down with the top 4 congressional leaders on both sides of the aisle at the White House in just a few hours. And the stakes could not be higher. We are just 2 days out from a government shutdown.
Democrats say they won't agree to keep the government funded until Republicans agree to reverse Medicaid cuts and extend subsidies for those on Obamacare so health insurance premiums don't rise for millions of Americans. Electronic Arts, maker of video games like Madden NFL and The Sims, is being acquired for $55 billion, the most expensive leveraged buyout in history. Among those buying it and taking it private, Affinity Partners, the private equity firm run by President Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. In Michigan, just south of Flint, police are still looking for a motive in yesterday's deadly LDS church attack. Here's ABC's Wayne Cabot.
What was a Mormon church, now a pile of charred rubble in Grand Blanc, Michigan.
We heard a big bang and the doors blew.
A congregant who survived the ramming of the church by a man driving a 4-door pickup truck with 2 American flags in the truck bed. The attacker, an Iraq war vet, sprayed bullets, then set the place on fire.
It's devastating to know that I lost friends, and it's just to see somebody would do this to my church.
Worshippers shielded children from the gunfire and helped each other get out. The shooter was killed in a gun battle with police. Wayne Cabot, ABC News.
Tropical storm Imelda expected to drop heavy rain and unleash flooding in the Caribbean. Hurricane Umberto is churning in open waters nearby. You're listening to ABC News.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
A 34-year-old man facing 2 counts of capital murder and 5 counts of aggravated assault after a shooting at an Indian casino along the Texas-Mexico border. ABC's Jim Ryan says the suspect was caught 200 miles away.
Witnesses at the Kickapoo Lucky Eagle Casino saw the gunman speed away in a black Nissan Frontier pickup truck. State troopers were able to track and arrest 34-year-old Carrion Jones using a license plate recognition system. The dead are identified as a retired customs agent and a woman who lived near the casino. 5 other people were hurt.
A shooting in eastern North Carolina left 3 people dead, at least 5 hurt. Police say a man on a boat opened fire on those sitting on a pier.
Many of the victims were visitors just here on vacation.
It's a pier where the end is, and his boat was right out there. And there's nowhere for anybody to go.
Investigators have charged that suspect. He's being held in jail without bond and is expected to appear before a judge tomorrow. The DA's office is considering the death penalty.
That's ABC's Faith Abube. Tyler Robinson, the 22-year-old man accused of shooting and killing Charlie Kirk, appears in court virtually today in Utah. Scandal-plagued New York City Mayor Eric Adams is abandoning his struggling campaign for re-election. He released a video yesterday saying he was no longer a contender in the race. That leaves Republican Curtis Sliwa and Democrat Zoran Mamdani and Andrew Cuomo still running. This is ABC News.
I'm Reed Millard, president of Lupton Millard Chapel of St. Louis. We've been faithfully serving St. Louis families for generations. At Lupton Millard Chapel, we understand it's the little things that make a big difference for the families we serve. A traditional church funeral or a unique celebration of life. Providing the finest in services and attention to detail has always been the hallmark of our family.
Lupton Millard Chapel, the leader in excellence since 1905. For more information, go to LuptonMillardChapel.com.
62 degrees at 8:05. Here's what's happening now. More details are being released on the multi-vehicle accident in Jefferson County yesterday afternoon that claimed 3 lives. The Missouri Highway Patrol reports a tractor-trailer failed to notice traffic slowing along I-55 in Festus and struck the vehicle in front of him, causing a chain reaction. A man and a woman from Memphis were killed, along with a woman from Pevely. Several people, including the tractor-trailer driver, were injured. Austin police have identified a Missouri man as a new suspect in the 1991 yogurt shop murders of 4 teenage girls. Investigators say that DNA tests point to Robert Eugene Brashers as that suspect. He died by suicide in 1999. The case remains open, and police plan to share more details at a news conference today. Amy Ayers, Eliza Thomas, and sisters Jennifer and Sarah Harbison were killed at the I Can't Believe It's yogurt store. The murders shocked the city and became one of its most notorious crimes. 2 men were previously convicted, but their convictions were overturned on appeal. The City of St. Louis's Office of Recovery and Community Development Administration announced a new notice of funding availability for the Tornado Recovery Vacant Unit Turns, designed to quickly repair vacant rental units and make them available to families displaced by the May 16th tornado. The Tornado Recovery Vacant Unit Turns grant funding will provide up to $2.5 million in RAMS settlement funds to cover minor repairs, maintenance, and updates to vacant rental housing. Missouri's new congressional map is now law. Yesterday, Governor Mike Kehoe signed Missouri's first map into law. The map specifically targets the 5th congressional district in Kansas City, currently held by Democratic Representative Emanuel Cleaver, by incorporating more rural, heavily Republican areas. The redistricting was approved by the Republican-led legislature in a special session called by the governor. Ameren is alerting customers in Missouri and Illinois about a growing scam involving solar panels. The story from KTRS's Sobe Bay.
These scammers claim to be affiliated with Ameren and offer to install solar panels to reduce monthly energy bills. They use fake phone numbers and automated calls to make their pitches and attempt to schedule in-home appointments. Ameren is reminding customers that they do not sell solar panels nor contract with any companies that do sell or install them. Ameren urges customers not to provide personal or financial information over the phone. For more information and scam prevention tips, visit ameren.com/stop-scams. I'm Sobe Bay, KTRS News.
This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florists, a place for all your floral needs. You can place your order anytime at WKF.com. 62 degrees. Time now is 8:07. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Randy Carriker's on deck. Ben Barnett, Timberline Tree Care, then phone calls in the 9 o'clock hour. Anybody ever hear of an actress or comedian named Heather McMahon?
No.
Well, you will. She was either canceled this weekend or her First Amendment rights were infringed upon. Depending on where you stand on the political spectrum, right? So she was either canceled or her First Amendment rights were trampled. Here's what happened. Anybody watch the Ryder Cup this weekend?
I saw parts of it.
Okay, so the Europeans went out for a big, huge lead and then held off a storm of Americans at the end to win and to retain the cup. And there's a whole lot of stories about the fans at Bethpage Black, where the course was, being overzealous and
Rory McIlroy was complaining about that.
Right. I mean, they apparently said some things about his wife and his children. The fans were just
like a Happy Gilmore, honestly, like a Happy Gilmore kind of a thing where the crowd is too rowdy and
well, it was over the top.
Wow.
It was over the top. In fact, at one point, you might not know this, Rose, but when they have an MC at the beginning, right, and they say now on the first tee, from Scotland, winner of the PGA Championship, Bob Smith, right? Well, they have that announcer, and that announcer was Heather McMahon. That's who was doing the announcing, was this woman.
Okay.
And at one point on Saturday, the fans were chanting a word that rhymes with truck and Rory McIlroy, who's on the England team. She got on the microphone and started leading the chants as the MC of the event.
The impartial MC.
Wait a minute.
She was the MC on the first hole, and she started cheering and started leading the crowd in the cheers derogatorily towards Rory McIlroy.
Well, wait, so she shouldn't be canceled. She's just fired, right? Like, that's clearly not the job description.
How is that any different than Jimmy Kimmel?
Because that's not part of her job is to announce
Well,
as
his
opposed
job
to
is-
entertain. His job is to entertain. Her
Well,
job
her
is
job-
specifically to read script.
That would be like John Hewlett or Tom Calhoun doing that at a football or baseball or hockey game.
Yeah. The PGA said in a statement that Heather McMahon has extended an apology to Rory McIlroy, the Ryder Cup Europe, and has stepped down from hosting the first tee of the Ryder Cup, the PGA said in a statement.
I mean,
In what
poor judgment. Like,
what universe does that make sense where you are representing the Ryder Cup as an MC and you grab the microphone and start chanting the most rude thing the crowd can chant? I mean, in what universe does that make sense for this woman?
did she is there literally an argument about her rights being infringed?
Well, no.
Okay.
She's
so she's not
the
pushing
PGA
back.
the PGA said she has stepped down. I don't know if they said, look, turn in your badge, you're done.
banned from-
But she wasn't there on Sunday. And the golf community, apparently, I was reading a lot of Golf Digest articles, golf.com articles. They were just aghast at the Americans and their boorish behavior. And just, look, it's one thing to cheer on the Americans. It's another thing to boo the Europeans. It's another thing to call out Rory McIlroy's wife, who happens to be an American, and his child, again, who happens to be an American. I mean, it's really sad. But, the players sort of talked about it, and Rory McIlroy was like, look, I get being booed, but, it crossed the line a couple times and whatever else. But the MC of the event,
she's representing the course, the PGA, America.
Right. She's supposed to she's part of the welcoming committee, and she grabs the microphone and starts leading the chants with the crowd.
What's her background? Has she done this before?
She's a comedian, apparently.
So is that
She's been in a couple of movies, Mary X. Moss and Love Hard. She's got a couple of specials on Netflix. Couple comedy specials.
And so in the past, do they usually hire kind of celebrities like that to do that?
I haven't heard of that. Normally it's much more, golf is a pretty
right. Well, that's my
stodgy sort of.
So like what, I mean.
It's all about etiquette. It's all about following the rules. And it's all about calling a foul on yourself, right? Unlike baseball glorifies the cheater. In golf, if you call a foul on yourself, right? You say, oh, my goodness, the ball moved. I have to disqualify myself.
That's why Happy Gilmore is such an outlier.
Right, yeah.
Right, and that's kind of what I was thinking. Like, so did she just think this was really funny?
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean.
I don't know, but shame on her, right? I mean, she's the MC of the first tee, and she gets fired. She can't fulfill her duties because she's so over the top.
It's like she made one of the most egregious. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like we thought that's implied that you don't
know your audience, lady.
Right?
I mean, it's just it's.
I mean, like when we work the broadcast Cardinal game, you're not supposed to wear red in the visitors' broadcast booth.
There's no cheering in the press box.
Exactly. Like at least I know like that part.
Yeah, there's no cheering in the press box.
Yeah.
No, you are respectful.
I mean, like.
There's a reason there's no cheering in the press box.
You're not even supposed to, like Rose said, you can't even wear team colors.
Right.
This is like a textbook of what not to do. Like this will be used in further training for people. No.
Heather McMahon.
Don't ever make this mistake.
Oh, my goodness. She apologized to Rory and the team for leading the chants. But there you go. By the way, the Europeans hang on. They win 15-13. It was close there. At the end, all Sunday, I'm like, they're going to come back. I'm like, the Americans are coming back. This is going to be a lot closer than people think.
Hey, it's already on her Wikipedia page.
Is it really?
Yes.
8:15 here, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Here's Captain Paul Kopsky.
McGraw, the latest is an accident on eastbound 364 at 141, blocking the two right lanes with the stop and go back up to the Veterans Memorial Bridge. A crash on eastbound 70 at TR Hughes has traffic backed up to Bryan. An accident on eastbound 70 at Hanley is causing a stop and go back up to Air Flight. Northbound 55 is running slow from Bayless, where the signals are on flash, to Weber. Northbound 270 is crowded from 44 past Tesson Ferry. The drive time from 270 and Tesson Ferry to Manchester is 14 minutes. And eastbound 64 is busy around Clarkson and from 170 to Big Bend. This traffic report is brought to you by Fielder Electric. See what everyone is saying about the pros at Fielder Electric. Whether it's a new build or a 100-year-old home, Fielder Electric has you covered. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
Check the calendar. We are just 2 days away from October, but boy, fall temperatures nowhere in sight. We are stuck in a warm and, yep, you guessed it, dry weather pattern. Sunny skies today, hot this afternoon if you're out in that full sunshine, up to 89 for the high. Thankfully, humidity is low. We'll slip back into the 70s by about 8 o'clock tonight, heading for a low around 63. Mostly sunny and hot again Tuesday afternoon, the high bouncing right back up to about 89. As of now, I have no rain in the 10-day forecast. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers on the Big 550 KTRS.
Hey, think about furniture. Look no further than Miller Furniture, Mueller, MillerFurniture.com. That's the website. 4 area locations. You only have a couple of days left for the Labor Day sale. Runs out tomorrow through September, the Labor Day sale at Miller Furniture. What does that mean? That means you are going to get deals. That means you're going to get up to 60 months of financing, free financing, so you can use their money to get your new furniture. You're going to get quality. That's what you get with Miller Furniture. They're coming up on 100 years of a family-run furniture store, and they have 4 area locations. They have the largest selection of luxury mattresses. They've always got deals, and you can purchase a mattress with an adjustable base, and oftentimes that adjustable base comes right along with the mattress. They have Stickley's. Did I mention they have Stickley's? When you buy a Stickley, you buy a piece of American history. Smith Brothers of Bern, we've got a couple of pieces of furniture from Miller Furniture, and the quality and the craftsmanship is second to none. You can really tell it is a well-made couch when it comes from Stickley, because she is doing her best to destroy it, but she can't do it. Miller Furniture is still winning on that front. 4 area locations. To find the one nearest you, Miller Furniture, good quality, American-made, that is built to last and built to look good. Miller Furniture, Mueller, MillerFurniture.com.
Football is back, and Underdog is the best place to select entries and win money all season long. Tune in to the Press Box with Frank Cusimano every Monday night from 6 to 7 to get Frank's entries of the week. Sign up with promo code FRANK550.
Meet me at the Village Bar. Ready for the world's best cheeseburger, homemade onion rings, trashed wings? It's the Village Bar for food and sports. Cards, Blues, Mizzou, NFL. The game's always on. Open 7 days a week in De Pere. Grab your friends, grab a cold beer. We'll see you at the Village Bar.
Hey, it's John Carney. A lot of conversations with the folks over at Allen Roofing, pretty much asking advice, because I know a lot of people got smacked by that storm, and he had some great advice for people to think about. First off, be careful of who you talk to when you're going to get some work done. Make sure there's an agreement and the scope of work is laid out in that contract. Also, as you can imagine, a lot of contractors are busy. Give them some time, and you know what? Allen Roofing will come put a tarp on your roof at no charge, even if you don't use them when you get the roof repaired. Also, check the Better Business Bureau, see what the reviews are for contractors that you deal with, and also remember, insurance companies allow up to an entire year from the date of loss to file a claim. So you've got time to get those repairs done and that replacement done. Don't rush it. Just a few tips from the people that know roofing and repairs better than anyone. It's Allen Roofing, online at aroofing.net.
Jewels on Hampton pays some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, gemstones, coins, collectibles, and sports memorabilia. JewelsOnHampton.com.
Now, back to McGraw. Presented by Londop Chevrolet and Londop.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
I thought this was Dennis Quaid's best movie.
Totally.
Second best
For sure.
movie.
Yeah, first being Inner Space, of course.
No, the first one being The Rookie. I think it was great in The Rookie. Dennis Quaid's had some good movies. The Rookie was good. What else has he been in that's been pretty good? He's had a couple other ones that are pretty good. Inner Space. Was that the one with Meg Ryan where he gets little and he goes?
Martin Short. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's see here. From the Country Club Car Wash text line, 5 giant steps backwards for women's involvement in things. Why are you blaming all women for this one idiot? 5 giant step backwards for her. Sounds like she knew her audience really well. A bunch of dumb high school Americans. The New York Post had a story of, and again, you can check, you have 250,000 people going to a golf tournament. You're going to get a wide variety of people. And the New York Post had a story of these drunkards who were like sleeping on the side of the hill in the They started drinking at like 9 o'clock in the morning.
So like Happy Gilmore, I'm telling you. Tailgating and everything.
Well, and the other thing too is you only have at any given time you have 4 foursomes on the course.
So you got to wait.
So yeah, so you have a corporate tent on 17. You've got to wait 3 hours for 4 groups to go by. So what are you going to do for all those hours? Or you're going to go and walk around the course, or you're going to sit in your
or follow them,
or go walk around the course and follow, or sit in your corporate tent with free food and free booze and just wait for them to show up and watch it on the TV in the corporate tent. So I don't know if it's a good, really might be fun to go, but it's a weird spectator
do most people
sport.
Follow it? Like follow the people, or they just sit there and that
Well,
seems
you can do
weird.
well in a normal golf tournament. You have golfers on every hole.
Oh, okay. So you're always seeing something.
If you sit on the 10th hole, all the groups will come by. So all day long, right? Or you want to follow Tiger Woods around, so you follow Tiger Woods around.
Right.
But in this instance, you sit on the 10th green and you wait all day, and 4 groups come by, and then you're done. Then you have to go to the 18th green. I don't know what you do. But there was a large number of news stories about how quite a number of people just decided to pass out on the side of a hill. That's awesome. New York's finest.
And, after the first day, it was like a blowout, and then the Americans rallied.
They rallied Sunday. Yeah, they rallied yesterday. But Saturday was the day in which all of the crowd got, a little bit more inebriated and everything else. And there were people in this New York Post article I was reading, boy, the tickets were like $1,500. You would think that a higher class of personnel would show up, but no.
God, did some radio station give away a bunch of free tickets or something?
Prize pigs, yeah.
Right.
Here's another one from the Country Club Car Wash section. I feel somewhat embarrassed or ashamed to be an American while watching the Ryder Cup. I even turned it off at one point. And the Europeans, God love them. Let's see here. But this is the USA now. We have to get used to it. The rest of the world thinks we are a bunch of jerks. They are right. Would you expect anything less from New Yorkers? I don't know if she's a New Yorker.
She's not. She's from Atlanta and went to school at University of Mississippi.
Okay. Hey, McGraw, Stephen Roberts is so correct to liken this back to Nixon. This is really deja vu. All right, let me go on from there. But a lot of people climbing in. You don't think that the decision makers think about this incident when deciding who they hire next time? Sure, but it's not a woman.
Nobody thinks that your MC is going to go on an F-bomb rant.
Right, yes. They're going to make sure that the next person they hire has a little more couth and class. This has nothing to do with the women. Why are you superimposing this woman on the entire female race? That's what I don't understand. She's classless, or the act was classless. I'm sure she's a nice woman, but she got swept up in the moment, poor judgment, made the mistake, had to pay for it. But to superimpose all of that on every woman out there is a bit of a stretch. But what do I know?
I can't believe they let us vote.
If you draw a correlation between when this country started going down and when women started to vote, you will notice that's when the one line started going up and the other line started going down.
Suffrage.
The more women voted, the worse America went south. See?
Yep.
That is exactly right. I'm glad you mentioned it. 826 here, Big 550 KTRS. Union Station, holy mackerel. Soccer game Saturday night. The place was packed, I heard. And right next door is Union Station. You can go see the giant Ferris wheel. They've got the miniature golf going. They've got the Ferris wheel. They've got the merry-go-round. And now they have a they're getting ready for the Polar Express, but they also have this giant wheel. It's a Flying Louie. It's an old pirate ship. Actually, it's a new pirate ship that swings back and forth. Fun for the whole family. They also have brand new rides like a roller coaster. All there at Union Station. It's a fun little afternoon, whether you're planning on going down early before a soccer game or something else, or you want to go down there specifically to check out Union Station. Don't forget about the aquarium. You can have lunch right there at the soda fountain or any of the other restaurants attached to St. Louis Union Station. It's a whole lot of fun. The Blues are getting ready to play. Head down with the Blues and then go and check out Union Station before or after the game. Union Station and their giant Flying Louie, they call it, a giant swinging pirate ship, not to mention the roller coaster. Find out more, UnionStationSTL.com. UnionStationSTL.com. Actually, that's the Instagram, UnionStationSTL.com. StLouisUnionStation.com. StLouisUnionStation.com. Or the StLouisWheel.com. A couple places. Just Google Union Station and it'll pop up. It's a fun time down there. 828, Captain Paul Kopsky, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Good morning.
Good morning, McGraw. The latest is a crash on northbound 141 at Burgundy with traffic backed up to Manchester. An accident on eastbound 364 at 141 is blocking the two right lanes with the stop and go back up to the Veterans Memorial Bridge. A crash on eastbound 70 at TR Hughes is blocking the three right lanes with traffic backed up to Bryan. We have an accident on eastbound 70 at Natural Bridge causing a stop and go back up to Cypress. Northbound 55 is running slow from Bayless where the signals are on flash to Weber. Northbound 70 is crowded from Big Bend to 64 and eastbound 64 bogs down from McKnight to Big Bend. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Viviano sponsors Traffic and Weather. Do you have any aunts or relatives who happen to be 67 years old?
I do.
Interesting. This one from the Country Club Car Wash text line. I'm a 67-year-old woman and really likes your humor, Rose. You're funny, smart, and add so much to the show. Thanks.
Thanks, Andy. Aw, thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
Weather-wise, it's going to be upper 80s today. No rain, no clouds. 88 the high today. Tomorrow, 89, carbon copy of today. And then Wednesday and Thursday, the exact same, maybe a cloud or two along the way. But upper 80s, plenty of sunshine, no rain. 66 degrees right now at 8:30. Let's go to the newsroom. Here's Rose Dalton.
The investigation continues after an ex-Marine smashed a pickup into a Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints church in Michigan, opened fire and set the building ablaze during a crowded Sunday service, and then was fatally shot by police. At least 4 people were killed and 8 wounded, and authorities were searching the building ruins for more victims. Authorities in the Bahamas have closed a majority of schools following mandatory evacuations for some islands in the archipelago as Tropical Storm Imelda drops heavy rain and unleashes flooding in the northern Caribbean. Meanwhile, Hurricane Humberto churned in open waters nearby, which forecasters said would cause Imelda to abruptly turn to the east-northeast away from the southeastern United States coast. In local headlines, St. Louis County Councilwoman Shalonda Webb claims that State Senator Angela Walton Mosley and Mosley's sister, former County Councilwoman Rochelle Walton Gray, assaulted her. Webb said she filed a report with Bellefontaine Neighbors Police and has asked for an order of protection against the sisters. The Bi-State Development Board of Commissioners voted to revise the program management consultant contract to evaluate alternative conveyance options for the Green Line project with a focus on bus rapid transit. This potential shift to the Green Line project was made at the request of St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer to enhance the project's financial feasibility and strengthen its competitiveness for federal funding in Washington, D.C. 65 degrees. Time now is 8:31. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Altair Travel and Cruises is proud to sponsor KTRS Pink in support of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and they're partnering with one of their preferred suppliers, Alma Waterways. River cruising is a hot way to travel right now, and Altair and Alma Waterways are offering $100 off any new Alma Waterways river cruise bookings made through Altair October 1st through the 31st. Call Altair today to book your next river cruise at 314-968-9600 or online at altairtravel.com.
Hey, Ed Brock, everybody. If you love Halloween like I do yourself a favor and visit Johnny Brock's Dungeon. Why shop those tiny pop-up shops when you can shop 30,000 square feet of locally owned Halloween fun? We're open all year at I-44 in Jefferson on the edge of Soulard. Johnny Brock's Dungeon, a St. Louis must-see.
At Midland, we know sometimes all it takes is a moment for an idea to spark, or to make it happen. A moment to find your dream, or build one. A moment to start your forever, or at least start planning for it. Whatever moments you have, Midland is here for them, and can help you make them. Midland, brighter together. Visit us at midlandsb.com. Midland States Bank is member FDIC.
You're on the list for Macy's Fall VIP Sale. That means you're invited to save big on this season's top designer looks at prices you'll love. Like an extra 30% off Calvin Klein, Steve Madden, Hugo Boss, and more. Plus, get 15% off beauty and fragrance from Estee Lauder, Lancome, and so many others. This only happens a few times a year. Don't miss the Fall VIP Sale. Today, only at Macy's. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Now, back to McGraw. Presented by Londoff Chevrolet and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, it's 8:34. Let's check in with Randy Carricker. Randy, hope you had a good weekend.
I did have a good weekend, a lot of sports. You know, I think it might have been like the best sports weekend of the year.
Yeah, no, a lot of sports going on. You had the Ryder Cup, you had baseball, you had football, you had college football, hockey starting. Let's start with Oliver Marmol and his intentional walk to Michael Busch to thwart his opportunity to hit for the cycle. What do you think of that?
Yeah, you can absolutely tell by the outrage of Cubs fans that they just don't win much, and they don't understand the concept of winning. Here's the thing. So the next guy grounded out, and then the Cardinals did bring the tying run to the plate in the ninth inning. So if Ollie Marmol had decided to pitch to Busch, and Busch had driven in a run to make it 8-4 rather than 7-4, and then Nathan Church had hit a grand slam to make it 8-7, how would that have looked? When the other guy, and Busch is a great hitter, he had 2 home runs, he had a triple, he had a double. What good could come of pitching to him when you're still trying to win a baseball game? The Cubs always want everything gift wrapped for him. It's just unbelievable.
I heard that controversy, and I couldn't quite wrap my head around the fact that Marmol's trying to win the game. I mean, what? Okay, I understand if it's the ninth inning and the game's out of hand or whatever else, but the game was still in doubt. He's trying to win the game, and you're criticizing him for trying to win the game? That was the criticism.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I remember about 20, maybe more than 20 years ago, when Curt Schilling was with the Diamondbacks. He had a no-hitter going in the 8th against the Padres. Diamondbacks are up 2-0, and the Padres break up Schilling's no-hitter with a bunt hit that brought the tying run to the plate, and Schilling got mad about it. I don't understand why people in any sport would be offended by the other team trying to win. I just don't get it.
You know, speaking of that, was it remember Jim Abbott, the pitcher who had one arm? Remember Jim Abbott? I think, yeah. I think his first game as a major leaguer or his first game in college, he played for Michigan because he was my age. I think the other team bunted on him 3 times. And
he was a great fielder, right?
Yeah, and each time he got the guy out. And it was like, man, baseball is baseball, man. They don't, one arm, 2 arms, it doesn't matter, man. You got to go out there and you got to perform. And, God bless the guy. He was like, yeah, I would try and bunt on me too. But he handled it and moved on. Yeah, baseball is weird that way. I don't.
McGraw, do you think when he made those plays, the crowd gave him a hand?
Please send your letters and texts care of Randy Carricker to the Big 550 KTRS. Chaim Bloom takes over tomorrow. People anticipating a lot movement early on, or what are you thinking tomorrow's news conference is going to be like?
Yeah, I think we can expect to have a different-looking roster next year, but I don't think it's going to be more expensive. The people that are thinking that the Cardinals are going to go out and sign free agents are going to be sorely disappointed. This team is going to be draft and develop. It's going to take a few years. They want to build from within, and they want to build something sustainable so that they're good year after year, which is hard to do when you're in the revenue area that the Cardinals are. So that's what they want to do. They want to have the best farm system. They want to bring up the best players, but they don't want to spend they can't spend like the Dodgers or the Mets do.
Yeah.
So I think that he's a sharp guy. He's already put a really good staff in place, and I think that there's a couple of things that will happen. Number one, the farm system is going to be better. When you have people from Cleveland, Rob Serfolio, the Cardinals' assistant general manager, was the director of player development for Cleveland. Larry Day was their minor league coordinator. He's the Cardinals farm director now. Watch what Cleveland does. Study the Guardians. So you've got 2 guys from there. Plus, the Cardinals pitching development guy is from Seattle with the best young starting pitching in all of baseball. So Chaim has already built himself a really good staff. And then I think the second thing to remember about him is that he will talk to everybody in baseball. So there were a limited number of teams that John Mozeliak worked deals with, and there were some teams that he didn't even talk to and never made a deal with. Chaim Bloom is going to talk to each and every one of the other 29 teams so that the Cardinals will have a more broad array of players available to them than they've had for the last few years.
That's weird. Why would he not talk to some teams and then talk to other teams?
I don't know. It's really strange, though. The vast majority of Mozeliak's trades have been with Toronto and Cleveland. But there are some teams, San Francisco, I don't think he's ever made a deal with the Giants. It's really strange. And everybody, Jerry DiPoto of Seattle wants to work deals with everybody. So he's made a few deals with them. Doesn't make deals, Mo doesn't, within the division. And so I don't think that concern or fear is going to be there on the part of Chaim Bloom. But I have heard before, and I don't think that this is news to anybody, but there are other general managers that would complain that Mo didn't return phone calls. And so I think this will be a kind of a different atmosphere in terms of what we learn about with the Cardinals.
Wow, it sounds like some of the girls I called in high school. They just didn't return my phone calls. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I'm washing my hair that night. Yeah, I recall that well.
Oh, did you call? I didn't get the message. Oh, I see. Yeah. Back in the old days.
I did.
My dad didn't tell me. I apologize. Well, let's talk Ryder Cup. How much of this crowd issue do you think is a big deal in the fact that Rory and this MC got fired and she was asked not to come back and leading the chants in the crowd? How much of that do you think is a big story?
Well, McGraw, you're from there. So, first of all, should we have expected this from a New York crowd?
Well,
a Long Island crowd.
Let me defend New Yorkers for a second.
Okay.
This has been going on for a long time. Brookline, was it Brookline up in Massachusetts when Justin Leonard hit the putt? Yeah, they said they were all over Colin Montgomery. So this has been an ongoing issue. It's not just people want to blame Trump or people want to blame the U.S. now or New Yorkers. This has been a long time coming.
Yeah. So a couple of things about this. Number one, I think Rory made a really good point. He said, as I was playing with Scotty today, nobody was cheering for Scotty. Everybody was trying to take shots at me. I wonder why people don't come out and cheer for their own people. But I also think that we are, and I don't know if it's more or less now, but we are vulgarly jingoistic.
Yeah.
And that is, and especially in the Northeast, that's just part and parcel of the way people talk and the way people act. They're very aggressive and they're very vulgar. So I wasn't surprised. And I don't think any of these players that have played up there in the past, they shouldn't have been surprised. They've played at Bethpage before. They played in New York before. Obviously, because it's the Ryder Cup, it was taken to a different level. Now, the PA announcer, that is uncalled for. I don't think that you goad the crowd into an F. Rory McIlroy chant, and that's why she ultimately got fired. But I'm not surprised at all by the crowd reaction.
Yeah. I've even heard some Cardinal wives say they can't go to Cardinal games anymore because of the vitriol they hear in the stands towards their husbands or other teammates. They just can't take the kids to the games. I mean, this is the coarsening of America. This is the social media. Everyone thinks I can say whatever I want, whenever I want, and who cares who hears me, especially at a Ryder Cup where some tickets were going for $1,500. I guess nobody cares, right? I paid my money. I can say whatever I want, but just a sad commentary on the state of affairs today, I guess.
And McGraw, there are no consequences. But you know what? Again, like you said, it's been going on for a long time. Jason Isringhausen, before there was ever social media, he couldn't bring his family to games because his family was being verbally abused by other quote-unquote fans. So I don't think it's anything new. I think it's just a lot more people now have been emboldened that had a latent anger and now feel like they can let it out.
Yeah, sad commentary on the state of affairs. Randy Carricker, who's your sponsor?
It's Ryan Raphael, the Medicare man, and if you want to talk about a great guy, friend of the station, Ryan Raphael is truly the man when it comes to explaining the crazy world of Medicare. If you are a family member or turning 65, are you happy with your current plan? Well, you should call Ryan. Did anything change this past year with your health or drugs? Do you have a supplement and wonder if an Advantage plan is something to consider now? Call Ryan Raphael. He is the Medicare man. His number is 314-368-6808, and he's online at MedicareManSTL.com.
Captain Paul Kosky, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Good morning.
Good morning, McGraw. A crash on eastbound 70 at T.R. Hughes is blocking the right lane with traffic slow back to Highway K. An accident on eastbound 70 at Natural Bridge is causing a backup to Cypress. Northbound 55 is running slow at Weber. Northbound 270 is crowded from Big Bend to 64. Westbound 64 heavy in front of Forest Park. And eastbound 64 bogs down from McKnight to Big Bend. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
Monday, sunshine, another dry day and a hot one too with a high of 89. Monday night, mostly clear, will drop to 62, and Tuesday brings more of the same. Sunny, dry, and hot with an afternoon high of 89 degrees. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Kristen Cornett for the Big 550 KTRS.
Let's talk appliance discounters, because if you need an appliance, well, appliance discounters is one of your options. Now, why would you go to appliance discounters? If you go to the big box stores, you're going to spend more. I know it's counterintuitive, but it's true. You're going to spend more at the big box stores, and you're not going to get as good of a selection, and you're not going to get as good as customer service. So why, again, are you going to the big box stores? If you go to appliance discounters, they have 5 area locations. They might be closer to you. The appliance, the big box stores might be a little closer to you. You might have to drive a little bit, 5 minutes, 10 minutes out of your way to go to appliance discounters, but you are going to support a local company that has all the name brands, has makes and models. They can get their hands on anything. They've got a large selection to choose from right now. They've got an 80,000 square foot warehouse filled with appliances. You're going to get all the factory warranties and factory rebates. You're going to spend less for that, and then you're going to use same as cash financing if you want. They're going to drop off the new one. They'll hook it up. They'll take away the old one, and it'll be a pleasant experience. You'll save money, and you're going to support local. So, again, why are you going to go to the big box stores? Appliance Discounters, the largest family-run appliance retailer in the region. Appliance Discounters, 5 area locations, including their Grab and Go location on Gravois next to the Dairy Queen in Afton. Appliance Discounters, or theappliancediscounters.com.
It's the half-price sale at Miller Furniture and Mattress going on now through October 14th.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. Right now, save half off our list price on all in-stock items. Plus, half off custom orders from Flex Steel, Smith Brothers, Amish-made furniture, and more.
And get 12 months financing, no interest, no minimum purchase. See our fully stocked Flex Steel galleries in the area's largest selection of Amish-made furniture. Plus, up to 75% off the list price on our outdoor furniture.
Sleep better and save big. Right now, get a free adjustable base with the purchase of any Chatham & Wells mattress. Plus, half price on select floor model mattresses from Stearns & Foster, Tempur-Pedic, and Spring Air.
Visit any of our 4 locations in Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, or Ellisville and save on over $8 million of inventory. You'll see why we were voted the Retailer of the Year by the Home Furnishings Association.
Don't miss the half-price sale at Miller Furniture now through October 14th. At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
Hey, it's Heidi Glaus, and I want to remind you to tune in to the Heidi Glaus Show with Bob Ramsey and Josh Gilbert weekdays from 3 to 6. You don't want to miss all the fun. Plus, twice a month, we're joined by Dr. Ravi Johar, the Chief Medical Officer for United Healthcare. Dr. Johar and United Healthcare will keep us informed and educated about everything happening in the healthcare system, plus important facts to keep us healthy. United Healthcare and the Heidi Glaus Show on the Big 550 KTRS.
Hi, this is Stuart Rosenblum, president of Stewart's American Mortgage. Stewie! Mortgages are the biggest investment that a person's going to make in their life, yet most people don't know anything about it. Tune in for Mortgages and More with Stewie. That's me, where we can go over all the different types of mortgage programs in simple terms. You, me, Stewie! You'll become an expert after the first show.
Listen to Mortgages and More with Stewie, Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. on KTRS.
Hey, Tiger fans, legends aren't just made on the field. You can leave a legacy by saving lives through organ and tissue donation. Right now, more than 100,000 Americans are waiting for a life-saving transplant. One donor hero can save 8 lives, help 2 people see again, and heal 75 more through tissue donation. That's a game-changing play. It only takes 2 minutes to join the donor registry. Sign up today at fansforlife.org because saving lives, that's the biggest win of all.
Now, back to McGraw. Presented by Londoff Chevrolet and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
8:48 here, Big 550 KTRS. Ben Barnett, one of our favorites from Timberline Professional Tree Care. He is the one you call. You know why I know that? Call anybody in the electrical world who has to deal with power lines, and you say the name Ben Barnett. Oh, if Ben said to do it, then we'll do it. Ben, good to have you, my friend.
Hey, it's great to be here. I'm glad to have that pesky weekend out of the way.
Yeah, let's talk drought. And how worried are you, or what are you seeing with the drought and the trees and this very dry fall?
I am. I'm starting to get a little bit worried. Not only, the trees and the plants are kind of designed to, withstand, and they're really, really resilient, and they can withstand periods of drought. But now what we're seeing is ever since maybe July 4th, pretty much no rainfall, maybe only a couple of inches of rainfall in the past few months.
Right.
But put on top of that, we had a pretty significant drought in 2023 and 22 and 2018, and then a historic drought 2012. Those things start to add up, and it can really cause problems for our mature tree canopy.
What are you seeing?
So this year in particular, I'm seeing trees that are a month ahead of time either dropping their leaves or the leaves just turn brown. If you look out through the landscape when you're driving, you just see brown canopy.
Yeah.
It's not good. But I'm hoping a lot of these trees are just going into an early dormancy, and they're saying, you know what, I've had enough of 2025, and I'm just going to try again next year.
So are you saying that the leaves, the amber and the red and the orange, we're not going to get that as much this year?
No, not. We are probably going to have a worse, in my opinion, fall color year, because a lot of the oaks, a lot of the oaks around my place are either dropping leaves early or they're just brown already. They've just turned brown, so you're not going to get the reds and the oranges that you normally would. I'm sure that some trees will have a decent color, but everything seems to be accelerated this year and ahead of time.
You can't water all the trees, but can you water your own trees?
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the things I wanted to mention today. Is it's going to help if we put some water on these. Ideally, a soaker hose. You don't want a lot of moisture against the trunk of the tree for various reasons. But deep watering is what's important.
Yeah.
You know, if we just put a little bit of water, your irrigation system's going to go in each zone for like 5 minutes. It does not get the water down into the ground to where we need it for these trees, especially for long-term reserves. So we're talking, I water at my house for 45 minutes at a time or so. And try to
water your trees for 45 minutes?
Yeah.
Really?
Especially my young trees that I've got going on now. I'm trying to keep them going. So each zone, I'll put it on for 45 minutes, but I only do it, maybe once a week, twice a week, something like that.
See, now I've heard this before, but then come day 4 or 5, the ground gets pretty dry.
Right.
And I get pretty scared, like I'm just drying it out and I got to add more water.
Right. Well, I mean, it does certainly dry up. The moisture moves throughout the soil. Gravity pulls it down. Different forces, capillary forces, bring it to the side and sometimes even upward. But that's why it's important that we put enough in there so that gravitational water can get down to the roots.
Right.
A lot of the stuff is just going to run off the top anyway.
Yeah.
If you think about it, if you're running a regular rotational sprinkler, each spot along that rotation only really gets drops,
right, yeah,
moisture, once, twice every pass. So
right.
You're not actually getting that much water on each section.
Yeah, I know.
So
but
it's important to water it deep. And it also, if you stick your finger down in the soil,
you can tell.
There's generally moisture below.
Right.
But
yeah.
right now we're getting into a scenario where you have to really dig down to get to that moisture.
What about those bags that they put around the young trees that you fill it up with water? Those work?
Yeah, I use those all the time. Every new planting we use comes with a watering bag. Tell them to fill it up about once a week, twice a week if it's really, really dry and hot. So, yeah, it does work. It's probably not ideal, but people aren't very good at taking care of things. So it's better than nothing.
Yeah,
There's bad things about them. But all in all, it's better to have moisture the way it's supposed to be done whenever you can do it.
Yeah.
And if we can make it easier for a homeowner to take care of stuff, it's always better.
Yeah. What kind of phone calls are you getting these days?
So, yeah, we're getting all kinds of different phone calls. So one of the reasons I want to bring up this drought stuff was that people are calling about, hey, my leaves are already turning brown and what's wrong with my tree. And
right.
Some of the trees that we've been working on this summer, they say, hey, this heat's really kicked it. And I said, well, hopefully we're just going into some early dormancy and let's take a better look at it in the spring. So it's important to not jump the gun, pull the trigger on a removal if you've seen brown leaves or falling leaves early. That doesn't mean you have to cut your tree down right now. Let's wait and see what it does after their bud break in the spring and make a decision at that point.
What about, you've been to my house. I have a couple of roots that are sort of growing above the grass line.
Right.
Am I doing anything wrong? Is there something to fix that? Should I bury them? How does that work?
No, you're not necessarily doing anything wrong, but we see that a lot in, suburban settings where we have a subdivision. Typically they go in and scrape all the topsoil down. You got a hard clay layer or rock, and then they put 4 or 6 inches of topsoil on top of that. So the roots are having a hard time penetrating into the clay layer or the rock layer. So you're getting the root expansion above ground. You can put I recommend putting some organic mulch over those surface roots. Roots need oxygen, so you don't want to bury them in a ton of dirt, but maybe if you put a little bit of light topsoil on top of that, probably wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. So we have to kind of try to find a way to make our lawns work with our tree roots.
Yeah. So not necessarily burying them in 10 feet of soil might be a bad idea, but putting topsoil on them and covering them makes sense?
Yeah, I wouldn't go, inches and inches, but if you can cover it up with an inch or so, I think you probably get enough oxygen penetration through that soil that it's not going to be detrimental. And again, we have to kind of strike the balance between what's best for the tree and what works for the people that live there too.
Yeah, you also told me to sort of make that cutout around the tree and mulch it up.
Yeah, if a wide layer of mulch is going to do a lot of things. So it's going to cover up some of the surface roots. You don't have to worry about mowing over them if it's mulch, right? And it's also going to really do a lot of good things for this drought tolerance that we're talking about, because the moisture is going to be held into the soil rather than just being baked in the sun.
Yeah, the mulch keeps the moisture.
Yeah, think about it. Anytime you've gone and dug into a mulch pile or anything, you know, that's where the earthworms are. It's nice and moist and cool under there. So that's perfect situation for tree roots.
Good stuff. Still call about ash trees, right?
Yeah, we're still treating ash trees. We can treat ash trees until the leaves fall off this fall, which is starting to happen right now.
Right.
So yeah, we can do those, and if we can't get it this year, we'll hit them in the springtime.
Ash trees, it's very inexpensive.
Yeah, it's not expensive, right?
And it's every 2 years, and you can see the difference in my neighborhood. You can see the trees that are treated, and you can see the trees that aren't treated.
I had it was funny, and you absolutely can. I was looking at a job in Webster Groves last week. And the guy says, I go, that ash tree doesn't look well. You need to definitely get some treatments. Oh, I've been treating it myself. And I go, oh, what are you using? And he's using a product that can be used. It's called a metacloprid. I buy it off Amazon. I get a good price. I go, I bet you I can do it for cheaper than that. He goes, well, you can throw a number, but I don't think I'm going to do it. Guess what? Cheaper, do it. It's yours.
So the guy was buying it off of Amazon and doing it himself, and you were cheaper than that.
I was cheaper to do it with a better product.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, all right. Was his and the tree didn't look so good.
Right, it does not. Yeah, his tree didn't look good.
So he was spending more money doing it himself, and you can do it cheaper and better.
Right, absolutely.
That's why he's Ben Barnett, and that's why he's the best. Ben Barnett, TimberlineTreeCare.com?
No, it's STLTreeCare.com.
STLTreeCare.com. What's the? You've only been coming on the show for years. STLTreeCare.com. Don't go to Amazon. Go to STLTreeCare.com. What's the phone number?
636-479-7475.
Thanks for the donuts.
Hey, thanks a lot. There are no donuts today.
Yeah, I've noticed.
There are no donuts today.
STLTreeCare.com. Donuts next time. Thanks,
Yes,
Ben.
Have a good one, guys.
858, Big 550 KTRS. Here's Captain Paul Kopsky. Captain Paul, take it away.
McGraw crash on eastbound 70 at TR Hughes is still blocking the right lane with traffic slow back to Highway K. An accident on eastbound 70 at Natural Bridge is causing a backup to Cypress. Northbound 270 is crowded from Doherty Ferry to 64. Westbound 64 is heavy in front of Forest Park. And eastbound 64 bogs down from McKnight to Big Bend. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Country Club Car Wash text line, thank you, Ben, for trimming a route and saving a parkway tray for us. All right. What about watering with the root feeder? Yeah, we talked about that. Call Ben for all the questions. He's good peeps. DenseExpressSTL.com. Dense Express is also good peeps. Gray Wilson is the owner. And if you've got any dings or dents or scrapes, minor collision on that car of yours, you can get it fixed, and you can get it fixed correctly at DenseExpressSTL.com. That's the website. The location, they're on Manchester and Baldwin, located right next to the old Gettekers. And then they're in St. Charles on Highway 94. They specialize in dent removal, scrapes, hail damage, minor collision, and minor collision. Did I mention it's minor? Yeah, to you and me, it's major, but to them, they officially call it minor. Free estimates are available all day long. Walk-ins, not welcome. They got too many people, too many KTRS listeners are going in. So here's what you do. Make an appointment, and then when the appointment comes up, bring the car, and they'll take care of you. They'll work with all insurance companies. They'll handle all the paperwork, and you'll get your car back. Great response from KTRS listeners. So if your car has got dings and dents and looking a little ratty, DenseExpressSTL.com. DenseExpressSTL.com. 9 o'clock, KTRS, St. Louis.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Mass shootings across the country over the weekend. Police in Grand Blanc, Michigan, just south of Flint, are still searching for a motive in a shooting and a fire at a church. It happened during Sunday services. 4 people in all were killed, 8 injured. The ABC's Alex Perez is on the scene and says the gunman has been identified as 40-year-old Thomas Jacob Sanford.
The terror lasting an agonizing 8 minutes until authorities shot and killed the gunman, who officials say was a former Marine and an Iraq War veteran. A spokesperson for the LDS Church telling ABC News places of worship are meant to be sanctuaries of peacemaking, prayer, and connection. We pray for peace and healing for all involved.
They are searching through the rubble of the church this morning. There was a mass shooting at a crowded dockside bar over the weekend in eastern North Carolina. That left 3 dead and at least 5 wounded. The gunman, also a vet, taking aim from a boat, police say.
The alleged shooter captured about 30 minutes later. Investigators say he's a self-identified veteran who told police he suffers from PTSD. Prosecutors in North Carolina now weighing the death penalty.
ABC's Faith Abube in Southport, North Carolina. A 34-year-old man in Texas also faces 2 counts of capital murder and 5 counts of aggravated assault after a mass shooting at an Indian casino along the Texas-Mexico border. Without a funding deal in place, the government will shut down tomorrow at midnight, which is why President Trump's meeting today with congressional leaders.
The White House really trying to ramp up the pressure here, now threatening to fire not just furlough workers they say work under programs that do not align with the president's priorities. Now, of course, Republicans control both chambers of Congress. They have the House, they have the Senate, they also have the White House, but they need Democratic votes to get this done, and the two sides are still very far apart.
That's ABC's Rachel Scott. Right now, the Dow is down 14 points. You're listening to ABC News.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code COOL to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code COOL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code COOL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
A month before Halloween, the Better Business Bureau is talking about ghosts, or more specifically, ghost tapping. ABC's Jim Ryan explains what that is.
The scam targets debit and credit cards and the mobile wallet in your phone. Ghost tapping involves carrying a tap-to-pay device and standing close to or bumping into a person in hopes of creating a fictitious payment from the victim's card or phone. The BBB advises not letting people get too close and keeping tabs on your bank accounts.
Electronic Arts, maker of video games like Madden NFL and The Sims, is being acquired for $55 billion, the biggest leverage buyout attempt in history. The plan by private equity firms is to take the company private. The NFL has announced the headliner for the Super Bowl halftime show.
Bad Bunny taking over football's biggest night. The 3-time Grammy winner, whose real name is Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio, will headline the Super Bowl 60 halftime show in February, saying in a statement, "What I'm feeling goes beyond myself. It's for those who came before me." Continuing, "This is for my people, my culture, and our history."
ABC's Janae Norman. Bad Bunny technically made his Super Bowl debut in 2020 alongside Shakira and Jennifer Lopez. Last night in Dallas, the Packers and the Cowboys tied 40-40, the second highest scoring tie in NFL history behind a 43-43 Raiders-Patriots draw 61 years ago. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
70 degrees at 9:05. It's back to the bargaining table for Boeing and striking machinists. This time, a federal mediator is being brought in to end the strike. Over 3,000 Boeing employees in the St. Louis area began walking the picket lines on August 4th. Union members have rejected the company's previous contract offers, demanding improved benefits and higher pay. Boeing contends that their offers represent the best deals ever proposed to IAM 37. University of Missouri President Mun Choi is calling for action on crime after a shooting in downtown Columbia over the weekend. The shooting on Saturday left 1 dead and 2 injured. The victim who was killed has been identified as Ayanna Williams, who was a senior at Stevens College. Hundreds of first-time visitors say St. Louis exceeded their expectations. KTRS's Sobe Bay has the story.
The St. Louis Sports Commission conducted the study while the city was hosting the NCAA Men's Frozen Four earlier this spring. Of the 700 visitors, 74% said St. Louis exceeded their expectations. The first-time visitors were also asked to provide one word to describe their impression of St. Louis. Before their visits, 4 of the 16 most used words carry negative connotations, such as dirty, dangerous, boring, and unsafe. After their visits, the top 5 post-visit responses included words of positive connotations, like fun, clean, great, nice, and beautiful. Sobe Bay, KTRS News.
The City Foundry developer plans to redevelop the Mansion House in downtown St. Louis. New Plus Found says its $195 million renovation of the nearly 60-year-old building will entail a top-to-bottom makeover. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist. A place for all your floral needs. You can place your order anytime at WKF.com. And now let's take a look at the markets, brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune into Straight Talk on Retirement on Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. The Dow is down 24 points to 46,300. The S&P is up 29 points to 6,800. And the NASDAQ is up 191 points to 22,700. In KTRS Sports, the Cardinals' season is over as they were swept in Chicago, losing their last 4 games. The Birds end the 2025 with a record of 78-84. As you heard on the Big 550, Mizzou football is 5-0 after beating UMass on homecoming 42-6. The Tigers move up to number 19 in the latest AP poll and can rest up with a full 2 weeks to prepare before they welcome in Alabama. In KTRS Time Saver Traffic, let's go to the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center for a look at the roads where we find Captain Paul Kopsky standing by.
Rose eastbound 64 bogs down around 170, and we have some signal issues around the area. The signals are on flash at 141 and Ladue Road, at 55 in Bayless, at eastbound 70 in Jennings Station, and at Gravois and Grand. This traffic report is brought to you by Neighbors Credit Union. Check out the Neighbors Credit Union Debit All Day account, a checklist checking account featuring a Neighbors Visa debit card, the convenience of online and mobile banking, and access to your direct deposits up to 2 days early. Online at neighborscu.org. Federally insured by NCUA. Membership eligibility required. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Thank you, Captain Paul. In KTRS weather, sunny today with a high of 85. Clear tonight with an overnight low of 59. And tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds with a high in the mid-80s. 70 degrees. Time now is 9:08. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Mizzou football.
It's a rushing touchdown, and Missouri extends the lead.
KTRS AM, FM 106.1, K291CW St. Louis.
Whether you're on your way to see the Tigers or coming back home from the game, be sure to plan a side trip to Overstock Outlet, the best random store around where new inventory from the major big box stores arrives daily. You never know what great deals you'll find, and it's right on your way. 2 locations, in Lake St. Louis at Highway N and Lake St. Louis Boulevard, and in Warrenton at Highway 47 and Highway M. Open every day from 10 until 5. Find them on Facebook at Overstock Outlet Lake St. Louis, or check out their weekly online auctions at OverstockOutletAuctions.com. Let's go Tigers!
You know what they say, you never get a second chance to make a first impression, and windows and doors are usually that first impression when it comes to your home. Dalco Home Remodeling custom makes their windows and doors, and better yet, they make them here in Missouri. Dalco Home Remodeling is locally and family owned, celebrating 50 years, so they know a thing or two. The Dalco team is known for quality and customer satisfaction. That's the way it was 50 years ago when they started, and that's still true today. So if you're looking to change the look of your home without breaking the bank, call Dalco Home Remodeling. They do free in-home estimates. Just call 314-298-7300 and make an appointment. You can also check them out online at dalcohomeremodeling.com. As they've always said, if you buy somewhere else and find out how much you could have saved at Dalco, you'll blow your stack. So call Dalco first, 314-298-7300.
Hi, it's David Sherwood of the Inside Out Show and president of Sherwood's Forest on Barrett Station Road, just south of Manchester. Fall planting season is here now. We are fully stocked with the area's largest selection of evergreens, Japanese maples, magnolias, and shade trees. Choose from lilac trees, sugar maples, birch, October glory, hornbeams, and crab to provide summertime shade and great fall and spring color. At Sherwood's Forest, you'll also find hundreds of green giant arborvitae and junipers to screen thy neighbor.
And right now, get 5 mums for $40.
Sherwood's Forest has been planting smiles for over 45 years, so head to the forest, Sherwood's Forest at 2651 Barrett Station Road, or check out our inventory at sherwoods-forest.com or call 314-966-0028.
It's Julie Buck here to tell you that the patio is open at Bishop's Post right next to Chesterfield Mall. Get your reservations in now and go to Bishop's Post. You will love it. Tell them Julie Buck sent you, bishopspost.com.
The Big 550.
KTRS St. Louis. This is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
All right, we're back. 912, Big 550, KTRS. The hour is all yours. Phone calls, text messages, you name it. We'll take them all. I'm putting out an APB. I want to do what talk radio does best. And that is, I'm putting out an APB. I want to talk to some farmers. Preferably soybean farmers. I don't know how much sorghum we grow in Missouri. Kansas grows a lot of sorghum. Sorghum is also not doing very well either, but soybeans, a lot of Illinois farmers grow soybeans, a lot of Missouri farmers grow soybeans, and there's some interesting developments going on with the soybean crop, in which I am certainly no expert, and I don't pretend to be an expert. I have walked beans back in the day in Scribner, Nebraska. I am a corn husker, so I got that going for me. But didn't spend a whole lot of time on East Campus. I do like corn, but I understand the plight of the farmer a little bit. It's you don't have to be a farmer to appreciate what farmers do, and you don't have to be a farmer to appreciate the life of somebody in rural America. But what's going on is kind of interesting, and I'm kind of curious. There's not a lot of media attention on rural America. There's not a lot of newsrooms in rural America. And oftentimes the plight of the rural farmer is overlooked. So I'm putting out an APB. We've had farmers call before. We'd love for you to call and chime in and give us a sense of what's going on. Somebody on the text line says farmers are busy harvesting today. They do have cell phones in their combines. You can, while you're in the, I would love to get a phone call from somebody in the combine. They've got GPS on those things. Oftentimes, the combines and the tractors sort of run themselves. You've got to be in the cab for just to make sure everything goes right. But you can certainly chime in. The phone number is 314-931-5877. 314-931-5877. Text your comments to 84126. Here's the topic that I'd love to hear from farmers. And this is not coming from any political agenda. This is coming from somebody who didn't grow up on a farm and curious to talk to somebody about what's going on in the farm world, because we know that Donald Trump put tariffs on Chinese goods. Chinese have retaliated and put tariffs on goods coming into their country, including soybeans. Soybeans, before Donald Trump ever became president of the United States, the number one biggest customer of American soybeans was China. Now it's Brazil. And we took a hit after Trump's first round of tariffs in his first administration. Biden left those tariffs and just kept them. And now we have Trump's second term where the tariffs are even more. Last year, China bought billions and billions and billions of dollars worth of American soybeans. This year, they haven't bought any. Zero. And you're starting to read in some of the farm news that some farmers and some farm organizations are starting to get a little skittish. We're coming up on harvest season pretty quick. And if you're not selling the soybean, where are you putting it? So there's only so much capacity to store the soybeans, and then you're going to start, stuffing it in the front room and in the car, because there's no room for the soybeans to be stored. Well, lo and behold, last week, in a very unreported story, or didn't get a lot of attention because we were all losing our heads over Jimmy Kimmel, Argentina announced that they were going to drop taxes and some roadblocks to make their soybeans more attractive to China. And so China still wants soybeans, but instead of buying it from the U.S., they then switched and started buying from Argentina, a small South American country, because Argentina dropped some of their trade barriers to make the soybeans more attractive to Chinese buyers. It's not that hard. You want to go buy a big screen TV. One store has it for less. The other store has it for more. Which store do you go to? Do you go to the store that you can pay less, or pay more? You're going to go to the store where you can be charged less. So Argentina is selling their soybeans cheaper than the United States is selling their soybeans. So they started buying Argentine soybeans to the detriment of the American farmer. Last week, President Trump announced that they are going to subsidize the Argentinian government. They have announced all sorts of programs to purchase their government debt. They also announced, Scott Bessent, the Secretary of the Treasury, announced in a Twitter feed that the Trump administration is going to start pressuring companies to make investments into Argentina, which is bizarre. And then finally, late last week, or I guess over the weekend, he announced that there were going to be some farm subsidies for American farmers to sort of deal with the tariffs or deal with the fact that China's not buying American soybeans. So the American farmer is now punch drunk. They put the soybeans in the ground. They're going to pull them out. They can't sell them because their biggest customer isn't around. They notice that instead of buying them from me, the Missouri farmer, the Illinois farmer, the American farmer, you're going to buy them from Argentina. And oh, by the way, my government is now going to make it easier for Argentina to sell soybeans to my biggest competitor. And oh, by the way, now you're going to help Argentina with their economy. What about my economy? Oh, yeah, that's right. We'll give you some of this tariff money to help you sort of get by. So he wants to put the American farmer on welfare so that he can help Argentina get back up on its feet? I'm just asking the question. How does this make sense? This isn't right. Clearly, Donald Trump's smarter than all of us. Clearly, there's a method to his madness. I would just like somebody to explain it to me because I'm not that smart. How is this beneficial to the American farmer, to the American economy, where you make our soybeans less attractive to the world markets, bail out foreign governments, and then begrudgingly give a couple of bucks of tariff money to the farmers who have been trampled? Somebody explain this to me. I'm curious. How does this make any sense? Just asking for a friend. 314-931-5877. 314-931-5877. Or text your pithy and interesting comments to 84126. Would love to hear from some farmers. I don't normally do this, but if a farmer calls in, I will bump you to the top because I want to hear from you. All right? Does that work? All right, good. Let's go to the phones here. Denny, line one. Denny, good morning. You're on the Big 550 KTRS.
America first, baby. Hey, you got time for a quick joke?
Sure.
Two 80-year-olds going to a doctor officer saying, "Doctor, there's something wrong when we're having sex. We see you have an observation window. Is there any way you can go behind there and watch us have sex?" He's like, "Okay." So he goes behind the observation
All right.
window.
Hold on a second. Is this a piggy joke?
Huh? No, it's fine. And then the second week they come in, they're like, "Doctor, something's wrong. We're still having problems having sex. Can you go watch skin?" So reluctantly he goes behind the window and he watches them have sex. It's like, "Guys, there's nothing wrong." Third week they come back and they're like, the doctor's like, "Look, you've been here 2 weeks in a row. You've asked me to watch you have sex," which I did reluctantly. "What's going on?" And the guy said, "Well, to tell you the truth, doctor, I'm married. She's married. The Marriott costs $200 a night. Best Western costs $150 a night. Your office is $100, and Medicare pays for $43. Hey-o.
Denny.
Where's your hey-o? I thought you were going to do a hey-o.
Hey, Denny, I had my finger on the dump button the whole time. I was ready for something nefarious.
Oh, from me? Are you kidding?
I don't trust, Denny, I don't trust anybody anymore.
Fine, be that way. Have a good day.
Thanks, Denny. Denny's in good spirits because blues season, hockey season is upon us. Jim, line two. Good morning. You're the Big 550 KTRS. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, you know they're talking about compensating the farmers with the tariff revenue.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I would rather see, because we're all paying for the tariffs. What I would rather see happen with that revenue is that it go back into the Social Security Trust Fund, because lots of Social Security funds were diverted to general revenue in the past. I believe it's the only thing that we can do with that money is to replenish the Social Security Trust Fund. It's the only honorable thing to do. I do empathize with the farmers. I work as a machinist, and I've worked for companies that make die-cast, like aluminum die-cast, metalworking tools, and it's a good job. I'm not employed in that sector currently. It was a good sector to be employed. Very challenging, very, very technical, very good jobs. And I remember that there's been a couple of things that happened in regards to tariffs that affected in a major way those particular high-end manufacturing jobs, tool and die maker jobs, and mostly these types of companies. They're family-owned operations. They pay well. It's just very cool.
Look, I'm not gonna. Go ahead, Jim. Finish up.
I'm going to say this: Bill Clinton. Goes back to Bill Clinton in his second term. Aluminum tariffs on aluminum just drove the whole market. There were a lot of job losses in the high-end manufacturing job sector, which I was working in then. And those just drove everything overseas. Everything just went offshore, and a lot of job losses.
Wait. Because hold on a second. Because Clinton put tariffs on aluminum?
That's right, on raw aluminum.
Oh.
America really does not produce any more aluminum anymore. The tariffs actually.
So you're arguing tariffs don't work.
Tariffs don't. You get the opposite effect. Now on the Trump
so why are so many people supportive of tariffs if they didn't work in the Clinton years?
People just don't know. It's just poor. It's just poor news dissemination in this country. People don't hear the facts. It's such it's like going through the drive-through at the restaurant. It's just fast. They get their news. You don't get very much comprehensive news in a half hour if you look at national news. It's just not covered.
Well, people pick and choose. But it is interesting how all of a sudden tariffs have become very conservative ideal.
Yes.
When it wasn't, say, 10 years or so ago.
Now, the second tariff disaster took place during Trump 1.0 when tariffs were placed on steel. Now, I'm telling you that those molds, those dies, those stamping dies, that's all made with tool steel, which is a different kind of steel. It's very technical. It's made overseas. And so American tool shops could not compete with the rest of the world because of the tariffs. They look at their material costs basically almost double and put them at a competitive disadvantage. Once again, lots of layoffs and companies that just went under. Some good small businesses.
Yeah.
Well,
President Trump put more tariffs on aluminum and steel.
But the steel we're going to make is just like low carbon,
Well, yeah, I don't know.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, I get it. But I'm just saying, President Trump wrapped himself up in tariffs. He's all over the place with tariffs.
Yeah, I think so. You're looking at what's going on here with the farmers. Look at the adverse reaction. Wish in one hand, see what happens in the other.
No, I hear you. Hey, Jim, thanks for the phone call. Appreciate it. From the Country Club Car Wash text line. Hey, McGraw, my job on Saturday took me to the new government offices that had the grain opening on Friday. The geospatial people and I were surprised because somebody from the city of St. Louis Forestry Department had 50 people there whacking down weeds and everything in the median and all sidewalks and empty lots after the grand opening. I thought the timing was not the greatest. Soybean agriculture market is about GMOs. Europe, China protect their markets using GMO regs. Trump is trying to break that protection, and then U.S. ag supremacy can reign. 636, ask Farmer Dave. 3 and 4, there is no tariff fund. It's built into the price. This GMO, whatever was GMOs, they bought $12 billion worth of soybeans last year. So I don't know how much... they don't like our soybeans in how they were grown. They bought them last year. They didn't buy them this year. What's the difference? Let's see here. I don't think you're going to get many farmers to call in. I'm not a farmer, but I think they realize their mistake they've made in the past voting for Trump. Argentina economy is not doing well. Here's another one. Sounds like they do this so we can send our soybeans to China through Argentina. 636, thank you for bringing this to light. 3 and 4, this is what happens when you put the man that has gone bankrupt several times in charge. Hey, Matt, call Farmer Dave. Did Argentina buy the Trump meme coin? I don't know. Farmers are subsidized by the government. Trump wants to see more stuff made in America. Soybeans are made in America. Now we're subsidizing farmers because domestic policy stinks. Nobody wants our GMO crops. Monsanto ruined our farmland. Again, they bought them last year. Monsanto and Bayer was around last year. Roundup Ready was around last year. They bought them last year. They're not buying them this year. 9:30 here, Big 550 KHS. Love to hear from a farmer or two. 314-931-5877. 314-931-5877. Text your comments to 84126. Let's, actually, here's a good story for you. Oftentimes I talk about buying local, right? Why do you buy local? Because they support local, right? When you buy from the hedge funds and the private equity firms, guess what? They don't support local. Well, Country Club Car Wash, proud sponsor of the show now for a couple of years, proud sponsor of the text line, is having a special car wash fundraiser coming up this Saturday, October 4th, at the Wentzville location. This is why you go out of your way to go to Country Club Car Wash as opposed to one of the hedge funds. Country Club Car Wash is holding a fundraiser at their Wentzville location for
ABC.
Elisa Fetzel. Elisa is a 12-year-old girl trying to raise money for stem cell therapy. The doctors have found a match, and they can treat her, and the community is coming together to raise money to make it just a little bit easier on the family and everybody else to get the stem cell therapy. Country Club Car Wash will be selling their best $20 exterior wash, and they will donate all of the proceeds to Aaliyah. How about that? They'll also be grilling and giving away free hot dogs right off the grill. So Wentzville this Saturday, all day, from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., you can get the $20 Best Superior Wash and a free hot dog and help out a great cause. This Saturday, Wentzville location, Country Club Car Wash. This is why you support local. It's because local supports local. And when you support local, they do good things for St. Louisans. The hedge funds, I'm sure they're nice people, but they're not the ones holding a fundraiser for a 12-year-old girl who needs stem cell therapy. So they just ain't doing it. But the local guys are. That's why you make sure it says country, because if it ain't Country Club, it ain't local. Country Club Car Wash, 5 area locations, including the one in Wentzville, which is holding this fundraiser this Saturday from 8 until 2. Swing by, get your car washed, get a hot dog, and know that the money is going, all of it's going to a great cause. CCCWSTL.com. 9:32, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Here once again is Captain Paul Kopsky.
McGraw, there's a crash on southbound 67 past Taylor near 270 in Hazelwood. We have a stalled vehicle in the right lane of eastbound 70 before Mid-Rivers Mall, and another stalled vehicle on southbound 270 at 70. One lane of Manchester is closed eastbound between Barrett Station and 270 until 3 o'clock this afternoon for road work, and the signals are on flash at Gravois and Grand. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
It's the Big Sports Show with Sports Director Brendan Lisi. Weeknights 7 to 9 on the Talk of St. Louis, the Big 550 KTRS.
Julie Buck here for the Only Facial. If you want great skin, and I mean, who doesn't, then pop into the Only Facial and get a facial. They've got so many steps to this process, and it's one price, $125. No tipping, no upsells, no product sales, just a fabulous facial, including microderm abrasion and dermaplaning, and of course, therapeutic massage, just to name a few of the things that will happen during your facial at the Only Facial, with locations all over St. Louis. Also in Overland Park, Kansas, too. So if you're in the KC area, you'll know that you can just go to the Only Facial and get that same facial that you know and love, that you get in Frontenac, that you get in Clayton, that you get in Columbia, Missouri, Sunset Hills, all over town. Look for it. They're pink. You can't miss them, and it's fabulous. It's called The Only Facial, and you can find out more online and book now, too, at theonlyfacial.com.
When you pay for tree work, you want to be sure you're getting the most for your hard-earned money. That's why you should always use the ISA-certified arborist at River City Tree Service in Baldwin, Missouri. Hi, I'm Steve with River City Tree Service, and we've been the go-to tree service since 2008. Tree removal, tree trimming, storm damage, deadwood removal, stump grinding, and more. Give River City Tree Service a call for all your tree service needs at 314-270-8071. That's 314-270-8071. River City Tree Service.
Hey, it's Jill Farmer for Premier Heating and Cooling. St. Louis winters don't mess around, and neither should you. When those freezing temps hit, the last thing you want to do is discover your furnace isn't up to the job. That's why now is the perfect time to call Premier Heating and Cooling. Their certified technicians will give your system a full checkup, making sure it's safe, efficient, and ready to keep your family warm all season long. Think of it like an oil change for your car. A little preventative care now saves you from big, expensive breakdowns later. Plus, a tuned-up system runs more efficiently, which means lower energy bills when the cold really sets in. So don't wait until you're shivering under 3 blankets. Schedule your heating inspection today with Premier Heating and Cooling. Excellent rating with the Better Business Bureau. So many of their new customers are referred by happy customers like me. PremierHeatingCooling.net, 636-916-1122.
Kuna Food Service has been the trusted food supplier in the Midwest since 1918. For over 100 years, Kuna Food Service has been distributing the highest quality food products to some of your favorite restaurants while delivering superior customer service. When a restaurant puts their trust in Kuna Food Service, they get a team that truly cares about their success. That's why at Kuna, they like to say, they're big enough to handle it, yet small enough to care. Check them out online at kunafoodservice.com.
Now, back to McGraw. Presented by Londoff Chevrolet and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
Republican Senator from Iowa, Chuck Grassley, is ringing the bell, saying, what are we doing to our soybean farmers? We're putting tariffs. China's putting retaliatory tariffs on our soybeans. Then Argentina is dropping their trade barriers, creating a market for China to buy Argentina soybeans as opposed to American soybeans. And then our federal government is bailing out the Argentinian government. Strange. Especially for a president who says he's America first. Strange. Let's go to the phones here. Joe, good morning on the Big 550 KTRS.
Good morning, McGraw.
Good morning,
Thanks
Joe.
for that intro. Hey, man, let's take a minute and interrupt the soybean talk for a second.
Okay.
Who was not at the Evolution concert last night? If you weren't there, you're simply foolish.
Wait a minute.
I was
What?
there, my friend.
Wait a minute.
I could see the sweat on Lenny's forehead.
What concert?
Lenny Kravitz last night at the Evolution Festival.
Where was it?
Oh my God! I tease you a lot, man. But if you're serious with these questions, man, you need to get out of the house.
I know there's one Lenny Kravitz song I like. After that, I don't really know.
Evolution Festival. Your boy Shankman.
I believe you. I just didn't see it.
He was in Forest Park. You're never going to have Lenny Kravitz in St. Louis again probably the rest of your life, let alone in Forest Park.
How was it?
Let me tell you what, man. The boy comes out. He's wearing denim jeans. He's wearing a gold halter top, a navy blue leather jacket, and gold chains like he's a mummy, you know? Oh, my God. He rocked hard for about 55 minutes, went into a 20-minute, long drug out thing at the end to get everybody out of the park. But
who else played with him?
It's Lenny Kravitz, dude. He don't need nobody.
Did he have anybody open for him?
They had TLC, but I got to be honest with you, man. TLC was a little bit it was okay.
How many people were there?
That's my point. I got there at 4:30 for a 9:15 concert, thinking, I got to get early. It's going to be packed. It's Lenny Kravitz. But there was room for about another 1,000 people, I'd say.
So how many people in all?
Well, I don't really know.
I mean, was there 10,000? Was there 500? Was there?
Well, here's the thing. On a Wednesday, I was able to buy 2 general admission tickets on a Wednesday morning, just the other day, which I found incredible.
Yes.
For Lenny Kravitz. Oh, my God. He's a living prince.
I did not know you were such a big Lenny Kravitz fan.
This dude encompasses Elvis Presley and Prince at the same time.
All right. How long did he play for?
55 minutes. He must have got all the money because the other people really weren't that great and they weren't that big of names. He must have took major money.
Yeah.
I mean, he took that major A-lister in your backyard. You didn't even know.
I'm not a music guy. I apologize.
You had Shankman on the show. We could go promoting the festival.
I did not have Steve Shankman on the show. Carney had Steve Shankman on the show, I bet.
Okay, well, the radio station did.
Yeah.
But anyway, hey, all I'm saying is St. Louis, you missed out. And this is a fantastic concert.
With all due respect to Steve Shankman and Lenny Kravitz and people who love concerts, I kind of don't understand going to concerts.
Well, here's my thing.
If I like Lenny Kravitz, I can buy his album for $1 or a song for $1 and then go and listen to him.
Hey, you and I are the same age. I'm 62. We're basically the same age. I'm not a concert goer. I'm not a crowd freak no more. I hate the crowds.
Yeah.
Lenny Kravitz, dog, you had to go.
I get it. I get it. But to me, I mean, I'll go see Billy Joel. I'll go see Billy Joel. Outside of that, I can. If REM ever comes back, maybe I'll go to an REM concert. Outside of that,
it's different genres.
I get it.
Lenny Kravitz. There's nobody on earth that sounds like Lenny Kravitz right now. Prince is dead.
I get it.
Maybe you can go with Bruno Mars. Kind of has that punk.
Bruno Mars is great. I love Bruno Mars. I can go to YouTube and watch.
If he was in Forest Park, would you?
I would probably not go see Bruno Mars at Forest Park. Maybe I go see Bruno Mars.
Hey,
Maybe.
everybody, it was a great show.
If I had VIP tickets.
Soybean talk.
Joe, thanks.
Soybean talk. Thank you, Shankman.
Thank you, Joe. If I had VIP tickets to Bruno Mars and I could go in and go out and not deal with the crowds, I'm in.
Then no.
Now, funny he brings this up because yesterday I was driving home, yesterday afternoon, driving through Chesterfield Valley, and I noticed that there was a large contingent of cars in front of the factory. And I said to myself, looks like something's going on tonight at the factory. And I did a little research, and last night at the factory in Chesterfield was Lorna Shore was opening up for a band named Peeling Flesh. I'm sorry, I've never heard of Peeling Flesh, but enough people did that the parking lot was packed.
Well, Lorna Shore was the headliner.
Lorna Shore was the headliner.
Flesh was opening up for.
Peeling Flesh was the understudy. Okay, was the underboss. Okay. Who's Lorna Shore?
They are a Monday Night Metal point band.
Okay. What does that mean? Does the Point have a heavy metal?
Heavy.
Okay. So Lorna Shore is a heavy metal band.
It's called deathcore rock.
Sure. Deathcore rock.
Yeah. It's
Oh yeah. I've heard that where it's
I mean, I think I could play one of their songs.
Don't play. Okay, so Lorna Shore is.
The audience will not
What'd you call it? What'd you call it? Death what?
Deathcore.
So I can only imagine what Peeling Flesh is.
I'm sure they are the same.
If Lorna Shore is the headliner,
it's extreme metal.
I don't understand that. I don't. That's passed me by. But hopefully, the people at the factory had a nice time last night.
I'm sure they did.
I
mean, and people that went to Forest Park yesterday. Now what Joe forgot to mention is it was a 2-day festival. So like Sublime was there on Saturday night, and then Lenny Kravitz was there yesterday.
Peeling Flesh. Anybody went to the Peeling Flesh concert last night? I'd love to get a review. Since the farmers won't call in. 9:43 here, Big 550 KTRS. Let's talk Morelli tuck pointing. Morelli's good peeps. Had a friend call me up and said, "Hey, what do you think of this Morelli?" I was like, "Have you heard me talk about?" Yeah. That's why I'm calling you. I gotta call a Morelli. What do you think? I was like, "Call them. They're great." Calls them. Reaches back to me, I don't know, 2 weeks later and says, "Man, Morelli's fantastic." I said, "I know. That's what I've been saying all these years." Morelli tuck pointing. The family run since 1991. He apparently had some type of stone veneer that was coming off the steps, and so he needed them attached. sort of highly skilled work, right? Good masonry work. And John Morelli went out and looked at it, and apparently I got word back that he said, my father or my grandfather probably did these steps 30, 40 years ago. That's the type of customer service and the attention to detail you expect, right? That old world family masonry that's been handed down from generation to generation. That's the good stuff. Look, tuck pointing, it is what it is. Chimneys, walkways, porches, foundations, anything brick or stone that needs repair. Morelli, I've used them a number of times this summer. I've had a couple of odd masonry jobs that I've needed them for. I need them to call them for one more. And I've called them because I first learned about them from the show as a sponsor, but the response we've gotten from KTRS listeners is off the charts. Everybody loves working with them because they're very reasonably priced. They're great workmen, great craftsmanship, great stewards of stone and masonry. So what do you need to know? And brick. Morelli, 314-645-1387. For all of your masonry tuck pointing issues, Morelli or MorelliTuckPointing.com.
Samano and Jill Farmer, weekdays 10 to noon, right here on KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
When your reputation's on the line, you don't leave anything to chance, especially your primer. Painters trust Kills primers for a smooth start, strong adhesion, and serious stain-blocking power. And now, the full Kills lineup is available exclusively at the Home Depot. Need it fast? Get same-day or next-day delivery, or order online and pick up in-store. Kills primers. Pro results faster. The Home Depot. If you're a pro, you know.
Hey, it's Julie Buck for our friends at Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution, and they've been in St. Louis for over 20 years with 2 locations, one at Clayton and Lindbergh, and the other one just west of 270 on Olive. If you've got your own business and you want to have a better banking experience, look no further than Triad Bank. Their mission is to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services to you and your business. For more, go to triadbanking.com.
Lowe's knows you've got a job to do, and we help get it done. With the MyLowe's Pro Rewards program, eligible members save more with volume discounts on qualifying orders through a quote of $2,000 or more. Join for free today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer can't be combined with any other discount, contract, and/or special pricing. Exclusions, more terms, and restrictions apply. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Storms are becoming more severe and more frequent, and through it all, your roof absorbs a lot of wear and tear, season after season, so it may be time to replace it. I'm Jill Farmer for TB Exteriors. TB Exteriors has been providing professional roofing, gutter, siding, decking, and window services to the St. Louis metro area for over 6 years. They can help with roofing insurance claims and provide you with a quality residential or commercial roofing solution. Call TB Exteriors at 636-362-9503 or visit tbexteriorsmo.com to schedule a free estimate.
Now, back to McGraw. Presented by Londoff Chevrolet and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
Ladies and gentlemen, he retired, but he's never too far away from a radio or a phone. Welcome back to the airwaves, legendary broadcaster, Farmer Dave Schumacher. Good morning, Farmer Dave.
Hey, good morning, McGraw. Let me shut this tractor down here. Hang on.
All right, good. Calling from the cab. It is harvest. It is harvest season. So fill me in on this soybean thing. What in the world is going on?
All right. China's market is basically based on where they buy them the cheapest. Excuse me, that's all it comes down to.
Okay.
They don't like our beans any more than they do Argentina. They'll buy them from Alaska if they're the cheapest place. They don't care where they come from. It's all about the market. So what happened is when they threw the tariffs on it, that made the beans here too high. So they got to have beans. That's the staple of their diet is soybeans. So they got to have beans. Well, they go buy them where they can buy them the cheapest. Well, the beans that they're buying, and then you were talking about the tariffs going back to the farmers or something. I didn't catch what you were talking about, but I did get a couple of calls that you were talking about it.
Well, so Argentina dropped whatever trade barriers they had on their soybeans, so that China immediately swooped in and bought up apparently all of Argentina's soybeans.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, and then the United States is now bailing out Argentina with our federal tax dollars. Trump's bailing them out. So they're buying. Argentina's taking our soybean customers, and then we're bailing them out while the American farmer sits and has the soybean prices crater.
Well, yeah, I don't. That part I don't. Excuse me. I don't know. I don't keep up with what Trump's doing as far as bailing who out. But some of that tariff money, they're talking about some of that going back into payments back to farmers. But technically, it came from the farmer to start with.
Right. So
because you took it off in the tariff or in the break in the market.
Yeah. So how bad are soybean prices today?
They're pretty bad. They're in the $9 something bracket. That's not a good number. 12, 13, 14 is a better, quite naturally, is a better number. But you get it, and then the corn market's the same scenario. Corn's way under $4. That's below production cost. And then the other thing is, in some areas yields are bad because it's been dry. It's the typical farmer thing. You got too many of them, they ain't worth nothing. You don't have any, but they're worth a lot.
Well, no, I understand that, but also tractors, seed, chemicals, right? Fertilizer, all those things are also up, are they not?
Oh, absolutely. Equipment, input cost, production cost has gone through the roof. Fertilizers are terribly high. Seed, the seed companies are going to have to kind of maybe make some adjustment on cost of seed. And then land cost. I mean, just the ground itself. Ground in our area here, $15,000 to $20,000 an acre, and it's hard to grow $4 corn on $20,000 ground. Everybody will say, well, the farmer's giving it. They don't have to give it, but they're doing it. Well, it's the old thing, they're not making any more of it. It's right next door, and I kind of got to have it.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if the farmers are buying it. Isn't it other people buying it? Aren't hedge funds and private equity firms in China and everybody else buying all the farmland, not necessarily the farmer?
Nah, well, I don't know worldwide or nationwide, but in the Midwest, it's still pretty much farmer owned. Now you've got the other scenario that's putting some heat on us is the solar industry buying up farm ground,
right,
and putting these fields on taking top production ground. I've got one right across the street from my house that I cringe at every time I drive by it. But I guess it's the new thing. I mean,
look, if I'm going to put soybeans in the ground and lose money on the soybeans, I might as well lease it out to a solar farm. At least I'm in the positive.
Well, that's the argument. What do so they offer you a couple $1,000s a year rent for your ground for that solar field, and you're making $300 or $400 a year off the corn. It's definitely it's a tough decision to be made. That's for sure.
Farmer Dave, what happens since China's not buying American soybeans? We're coming up on harvest season. Where are the farmers going to put the soybeans?
Well, they'll go to the river. I mean, there's still markets. It's not all China. Beans don't all go to China. And there's still, there'll be markets for them. Quite naturally, China's a major player. And if Argentina can't supply them, they'll come back. Tariffs or not, or whether they like us or not, if they have to have beans, they'll come back to the U.S. to buy them. But it's a matter. There could be some beans going around us that end up in China. I mean, if you're in the markets once in a while, you'll hear where a boatload of beans were sold to the unknown destination. Well, what happens there is I can go buy a boatload of beans and then go shopping for a market. And where they end up, we don't know.
Well, right, but it's. I mean, are you talking like black market soybeans?
No, they're not black market.
Just gray market soybeans.
Maybe.
Well, because no matter who buys them, the tariffs are on them some way, shape, or form.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know exactly who and how that. At what point are the tariffs applied? Now, if a shipload of them goes from us to a buyer in Egypt, and then he turns around and sells them to China,
right?
who and where is the tariff collected?
Yeah. Well, it's a lot easier to smuggle in something under your jacket than a boatload of soybeans. Literally, a boatload. Hey, real quick, I was reading that Kansas is a big producer of sorghum, and sorghum's in this same issue as well.
Right. That we don't grow much of it around here anymore. We used to be. It was always kind of a third crop around this part of the world, but don't grow a lot of it anymore. But yeah, it's under the same scenario. It falls kind of in it's not corn, but it falls under that kind of a category. It's used for feed. But yeah, it depends on, I don't know what kind of tariff they put on it, because like I said, we don't grow much of it in this part of the world.
Yeah. What are you harvesting this fall?
We're in corn right now. We shelled corn the last 4 or 5 days. Beans are, there's a few bean fields that a guy could go. We're going to try and bale some hay today. Get a little hay baled up, get that done for fall. Most of the guys in our neighborhood are all shelling corn. There'll be some guys that'll switch over to beans maybe yet late this week.
I'm driving around some of the cornfields. I still see green on the stalks. Isn't it a little early to be combining some corn?
Well, there's some late planted corn that's going to be a little green. The corn that we've been cutting is running 19 to 23 in moisture, having to dry it down just a little bit. But some of that corn got planted late, and it'll still have a little color in it.
All right, fair enough. Farmer Dave, always good to hear your voice. Get back on the combine and get back to work. Thanks for checking in.
You bet. Talk to you later.
You got it. Farmer Dave, one of the good ones. Always good to get a good sense of what's going on. 9:55 here, Big 550 KTRS. Can I tell you about Reese Nichols? Reese Nichols is a great company you should know about. Reese Nichols has been around for 125 years right here in Missouri. Missouri born, Missouri raised. Have you heard of them? No. Why? It's interesting. I don't know the full story, but they were big in Kansas City and on the western side of the state. On the eastern side of the state, they had changed their name to Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. Well, that all changes starting October 1st. They figured out, rightly so, that Reese Nichols is a Missouri-born, Missouri-raised company, and that Reese Nichols is a great name, and that they should embrace it. So starting October 1st, all of the Berkshire Hathaway Home Services real estate offices are going to switch their names to Reese Nichols. Same great agents, same great service, same great trusted brokerage. The only thing that's changing is the name. Business cards. That's it. Everything else is the same. Reese Nichols will continue to do what they've been known to do for the last 25 years, which is to make sure you buy and sell and you do it right, so you make sure everything is taken care of. Reese Nichols. Look for the signs. You're starting to see them, but starting Wednesday morning, Reese Nichols will be the name change. So Berkshire Hathaway goes away. Reese Nichols takes over. Big supporter of all sorts of great charities, including the Ronald McDonald House, which is why you support local. ReeseNichols.com to find out more. ReeseNichols.com. All right, we're done. Okay, we're done. Stay tuned. We'll be transitioning to Frank and Jill, and then we'll do it all again starting at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Thanks for listening. Thanks for putting up with me. We'll see you tomorrow.
Traveling around and want to take the Big 550 with you?
I just got back from the Caribbean. Every morning I'd get up, go for a walk on the top deck of the ship, listening to KTRS on the app.
Download the KTRS mobile app today and